I'm excited to be commentating the grand finals here. Both of these players have played through 5 rounds of 40k already, currently 5-0. This is a top cut to the top 2 to find the final Lord of Chaos for the Black Crusade. This time around, over here in the red, we have K. Follier, a.k.a. I'm a T-Rex, running Adeptus Mechanicus. This is a Skitarii Hunter cohort, so we're going to see the maximum power of jamming and primary objective control versus kind of the exact opposite on the other side of the table. Looks like players are rolling to deploy their armies. We did have, I apologize for the slightly late start. We did have a little bit of a list error on one of the players' lists, but we got that fixed, and it was all good. They just spawned in the wrong army. That was all that happened. It wasn't anything, any problem with the pregame. They just realized that they had spawned in an army from a different event. But we got that fixed out, and their army is good to go now. This is Ash C, aka Rentar, previous T5S2 champion, and I actually think this is going to be kind of a T5S2, a little bit of a hall of heroes going on here, because K. Follier is, at least at the last time I checked, and I'm going to double check again here, chat, so that I can bring you the most up-to-date information. I believe that he is the current T5S2 frontrunner. If you go to tts40k.com, he is. It's true. Ash C, I think, has dropped a little bit. She is currently 12th place. But Kyle, right now, by about 25 points, is up ahead of even Commander Cha-Cha as the rank 1 in the T5S2 circuit with a bunch of big event wins. So this should be a really, really good game. T5S2, previous T5S2 champion versus the current T5S2 frontrunner. And as we're currently in April. We are about 2 months away from the T5S2 Invitational for Season 9. And I imagine that both these players are going to be participating in that event. So we're getting a little bit of a sneak preview of what we could see in the finals here. I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out. Let me get a prediction going on. Oh, I didn't predict last rounds. Chats, no. Didn't complete the prediction from the last game yesterday. That was a bit of a disappointing game, to be honest. But we'll see.
Yeah. Strength. Dr. Strength, no. Extra AP.
There you go, chat. Prediction is live for those folks who are all about that gambling life. So let's talk about the list real quick. 150,000 on Ash. Fucking send it, dude. Full send. Let's go. Dr. Dutes is in the chat. What's up, my dude? Nice to see you. How's it going? But yeah, I want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out today. A nice Friday wargaming going on. Friday morning over here in the States, which is kind of nice. It's a little bit of a change of pace from the evening streams that we've been doing recently. So I am excited to hop on and watch this game play out. Looks like we have no strategic reserves declared for either player, just transports. So everything's on the table, although Adeptus Mechanicus do have access to an encirclement style of effect. They can put their Skitarii units back into strategic reserve. So they may be able to redeploy over the course of the game. We are, however, on a tipping point deployment zone, which is relatively easy to screen. So I think neither of these players are expecting to get too much work done out of those strategic reserves. Let's talk about the list as the players are deploying. This is going to be a bit of a blast from the past from Adeptus Mechanicus here, but obviously Emperor's Children brand new. So I imagine that it's going to be important for you guys to hear exactly what they got going on and exactly what they can do. For those who haven't seen this faction in action, it is super cool. And Ash, as a incredibly strong player in terms of fight phase manipulation, she's got a lot of experience playing armies like Sisters of Battle, which have a lot of those sort of similar mechanics. I think she's going to be able to make this army absolutely sing. No pun intended. She's going to be able to make it use its sonic attacks on its opponent, essentially. She is running 3 Demon Princes of Slaanesh with winged demon princes. One of them has the Pledge of Eternal Servitude. For those who haven't seen this data sheet before, it's wild. They are, compared to standard Demon Princes, they're essentially a datasheet out of the regular Chaos Space Marine Codex. T9, 2+ save. They have a Strength 8 AP2, 3 damage weapon. Kind of average looking, except it move 14, and with the Thrill Seeker's Army ability, permanent advance and charge as long as they respect the downsides of that Thrill Seeker's ability, which is that they cannot dual charge anything, and they can't charge into something they engaged at the start of the turn. The other thing that they do, the real headliner, though, are their special abilities. They have a permanent -1 damage effect, so they're not easy to kill. Despite that T9 profile, they're actually much more difficult to kill than you would expect. A lot of these things that sort of pick up these like medium vehicles and monsters really easily will just bounce off these guys. In addition to that, they also will inflict mortal wounds on the charge, just like the Chaos Space Marine Demon Prince. So they roll equal to their remaining wounds characteristic as a tank shock, essentially, and on a 4+ do mortal wounds. At full wounds, that's an average of 5 mortals before they swing their attacks. So part of the sort of primary use case is getting multiple of these Demon Princes, especially against higher toughness targets, because their weapons aren't going to do too much damage unless they start to trigger some of their their detachment abilities. They want to sort of be ganging up on their target. So you can put 2 of them, like one of them can advance and charge first into a target, another one can move and charge normally. Both of them will do 10d6 mortal wounds on 4-ups, so they're going to be inflicting on average 10 wounds before they even swing an attack, and then even though their melee profile is sort of mediocre, with any buffs whatsoever, they'll probably get 2 or 3 wounds in with normal damage, so they're probably going to hit you for somewhere around 10 damage apiece is around the average, which is crazy when you think about it, especially for a unit that's relatively resilient. The Pledge of Eternal Servitude will allow one of those Demon Princes, I believe it's this one, we could say, it's in the tooltip here. After it's destroyed, which is why Ash is playing it so aggressively, it takes a leadership test, and if it passes, it will return to the table at the end of the phase with D6 wounds remaining. So she can sort of absorb a round of shooting with that thing, regenerate it, assuming that Kefalier can't kill it in melee, it will just come in and swing again. Obviously, it will be at that reduced wounds characteristic, so it's probably not dealing mortal wounds on the charge, but it will retain control of objectives. It will get an additional combat activation. It will force additional activations out of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and because it is such a resilient profile, that is going to go pretty far. We have 3 Lord Exultants. These guys are essentially little Chaos Lords for Emperor's Children. Here we go. Here he is right here. They have an almost exact Chaos Lord profile. The cool thing is their unique weapon, the Phoenix Power Spear, which gives them 5 AP2 2 damage lance attacks. And then they also get an offhand attack, the Lash, which is a Strength 4 AP1. They grant their attached units lethal hits, so even those little offhand attacks can be valuable into higher toughness targets. And then they have a once per game ability for +1 AP and +3 attacks on their spear. So once per game, they're going to come in with 8 attacks, lethal hits, Strength 7 AP2 or AP3, 2 damage, plus 4 attacks, AP2 1 damage lethal hits as well. They're going to attach into Infractor Squads, which are essentially assaults, or I guess like Chaos Legionnaires with extra steps. They'll gain wound rerolls when they're targeting enemies on objectives. So all of those attacks that the Lord Exultant is putting out can potentially be benefited by those wound rerolls as well. The Infractors are not that exciting by themselves, but they do have a unit champion that has 6 base melee attacks at AP 1 damage. So those units are kind of like the powerhouses of the army. Between the Demon Princes and the Lord Exultant units, they have a phenomenally high damage output. It doesn't seem like it at the top, but once you start adding in stratagems that you use, critical hit effects, and just their maneuverability, their ability to sort of jump around and get into melee with stuff, those little things can trade for stuff that is wildly more valuable than they are themselves. So there's 3 of those guys, as well as a Lord Cacophonous with Pledge of Unholy Fortune. The benefit there is that that guy's going to be attached into a unit of Noise Marines. The Pledge of Unholy Fortune gives him an old school Fate's Messenger style of effect. If you recall the beginning of the edition when we were watching Eldar destroy the universe, a Spirit Seer could use this ability to flip one of the dice rolls for the attached unit to a 6. This is essentially the same effect for the Lord Cacophonist. He, it looks like we're rocking, 2 Screamer pistols on that guy, so he himself is going to be firing 6 Strength 5 AP 1 2 damage shots at 12 inches, and then the rest of the unit's going to fire. We have several Sonic Blasters, 4 Sonic Blasters in the unit, which are going to be firing 3 additional 18-inch range Strength 5 AP 1 2 damage shots, and then the real headliner are the Blast Masters, which can fire Strength 10 AP 2 3 damage, or a higher volume varied frequency shot. The big benefit there is that he grants sustained hits, and then is able to flip one of their hit rolls to a 6. It's very easy to unlock things like reroll 1s to hit in this detachment. We are playing Coterie of the Conceited today, so as long as we pledge to Slanesh hard enough, we can unlock reroll 1s to hit for the army, so you can be hitting on 2s or 3s with most of the unit, rerolling 1s to hit, and then one of those misses gets flipped to a 6, which then triggers a sustained hit for an additional hit from the Lord Cacophonist. Using that on the Blast Masters gives you a ton of potential hits. You're averaging like 5 to 6 hits with just sustained plus reroll 1s out of the Blast Masters themselves, probably close to 8-ish if you are then factoring in his enhancement too. So you're handing 8, or you're converting 8 hit rolls, 6 attacks into 8 wound rolls. Wounding most vehicles on 4s or 3s that are AP2 ignore cover for 3 damage. So like these 2 models by themselves with the benefit of that Lord Cacophonist can probably kill a vehicle. And then these little guys over here just firing their 3 shots apiece plus the Screamer pistols off the Cacophonist himself can probably pick up an infantry squad too. So these guys are incredibly high value. In terms of infantry, we're running 2 Tormentor squads, which are Infiltrate, OBSEC battle line units. So they're going to be able to push forward up in the center of the table. All of these little battle line guys, the Infractors and the Tormentors, can generate CP when they destroy enemies, thanks to their Chaos Icon. And these guys can threaten some primary objective control just by starting a turn on an objective with their infiltration, which is nice. They also kind of start the peace trading game. You deploy them up in the open, relatively in the open, but threatening an objective secure, and you force your opponent to come attack them. And once they do, you can counterpunch with the Noise Marines, or you can counterattack with your own Infractors. And then we have 3 of those Infractor squads to attach to the Lord Exultants. We then also have 2 units of 6 Noise Marines, like we just talked about. And then, interestingly, 2 Mauler Fiends. These ones, Ash was actually sort of discussing with me before the game. She's running Magma Cutters on these. There's a couple benefits to taking the Magma Cutters. The Mauler Fiends do get that Thrill Seeker's ability, so they're able to advance and shoot. The Magma Cutters themselves are not very impressive range profiles. They're range 6 melta guns, essentially. Strength 9, AP 4, D6 damage, melta 2. So within 3 inches, they're going to be shooting for additional damage. However, if the Mauler Fiend is singling out a single target, it can advance 10 plus D6 inches and then shoot those things. So if it starts within 16 inches or so, it can probably get into Melta range before it charges, and that is a nice effect. The Mauler Fiends will also improve themselves as they take damage, so if they are below starting strength, they get +1 to hit. If they are below half strength, they also gain +1 to wound. And to being super fast and having a strong anti-tank profile, which is something that Emperor's Children otherwise kind of struggles at. The Lord Exultants can kill tanks pretty easily, but only on their go turn, and typically only when they're targeting they're targeting an enemy on an objective. The Demon Princes themselves are good at it, but only if they can inflict their mortal wounds. Otherwise, the army's really relying on its detachment ability to unlock like powerful attacks to kill that big stuff. The Mauler Fiends can just do it, though. They're just swinging D6 +1 damage melee attacks, and they're relatively fast, and they can potentially source a +1 to wound effect. So their capacity to do damage is to those style of targets is pretty impressive. And they are pretty inexpensive in the army, only 130 points for a relatively defensive profile. Strength Toughness 10 with an invulnerable save. That can kind of like follow up behind the remainder of the Emperor's Children. Last and certainly not least, we have 2 Rhinos. The Rhinos are pretty good at delivering the Infractors. The Infractors have Scout 6, and Lord Exultants gain Scout if they are attached into an Infractor unit. So if you fill a Rhino with Infractors, which it looks like we have, then it's going to gain a 6-inch Scout move. So those guys can actually alpha fairly well on top of everything else we just talked about. Prediction is over. It looks like everyone voted for Ash. So, I don't know. We got 50 points on AdMech. It's a 1 to 983 odds here. So, y'all better hope that Ash wins. Otherwise, that's going to be embarrassing for y'all, for sure. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this matchup goes as well. Adeptus Mechanicus certainly has the movement blocking to prevent the forward operators from Emperor's Children from doing a ton. But also Emperor's Children is extremely good at infantry sweeping. All of these little tiny units have a trillion melee attacks. It's like kind of like the army of mass, like AP 1 damage, which is very good against Adeptus Mechanicus. However, they can lock into Protector Imperative and give themselves -1 to be hit in melee. There are ways that Ash has to get around that. Coterie of the Conceited has a reroll hits in melee stratagem, which I think will certainly be used pretty consistently over the course of this game. But obviously she's gonna have to make those attacks, right? Kefali is gonna have to force her to actually sort of roll that out. Dr. Dude's gonna put 50K down, dude. You're letting me down. You're not all in on honoring the prince here. Talking about Kefalier's Adeptus Mechanicus list. We were rocking Skitari Hunter cohort today, so the infantry spam detachment. We can get stealth on our infantry models, as well as sort of benefit them with a bunch of defensive effects. We have our lone operative, as well as access to things like Battlesphere Uplink to return our models to transports after they've moved. Looks like we're rolling to go first here. Emperor's Children taking the first turn. We'll talk about that momentarily. We're playing Linchpin today. Probably, I would say that's pretty good for Emperor's Children. I think Ash is okay with either first or second. She has very explicitly not placed the Tormentors on objectives, so she doesn't get any objective secure here. But the Adeptus Mechanicus list is so good at dominating primary that it's almost not even worth sort of threatening that. You might as well force the Mechanicum units to overextend to come fight you, and then begin that peace trade operation. Looks like she is going to be staging Chaos Rhinos in the center here. You have to be a little bit worried about some random shooting from the Onager Dunecrawler and the Disintegrators, picking those guys off early, which would be unfortunate for Ash. Leaves a bunch of guys battle shocked and out in the open to get picked up by the anti-infantry shooting, so wants to keep those models relatively safe. And now we're scouting up some Rangers as well. So the fact that she's not going to get sort of movement blocked here, we do have Tyraxi Skystalkers that were positioned to prevent any Emperor's Children from coming through this lane. They could just move up, probably get a shot into potentially the Tormentors over here, or maybe one of the Rhinos, and then move up again to prevent any Emperor's Children stuff from leaving their deployment zone. You do lose the Skystalkers for that, but you do prevent Emperor's Children movement for a turn, and you give yourself the ability to threaten objective secure and to threaten a big scenario lead on turn 2. So Ash, I think, is pretty happy that that's not happening to her. Obviously, Adeptus Mechanicus is incredibly strong at bottom round 5 scoring because they have so many models and such maneuverability if they can retain Skystalkers until the end of the game. So
Yes.
I'm sure that she's probably not that excited about staring down the barrel of a big score at the end here. However, we could potentially see just a real attritional game be played by Emperor's Children and just trying to force the enemy into this peace trading game that will table it, I think is likely what we're going to see. I don't know if Ash is feeling super confident about playing the objective control game with Emperor's Children. They're very good at objective disruption, but I found that they aren't very good at holding objectives themselves because their stuff is not very difficult to kill. Looks like we might be actually threatening a turn 1 charge to try to pick up those Skystalkers. We do have a Lord Exultant in that Rhino that could disembark on the far side of the wall and then push forward with Advance and Charge. Turns out Army-wide Advance and Charge is a hell of a drug. So... Let's go! All aggro, play all the time. Let's do it, dude. Doogie Spoonhands, thank you for the sub on Twitch Prime. Appreciate that, buddy. 9 months in a row. It's like we're having a baby. Another Black Crusade for the good guys, indeed. Longshiploft, it's nice to see you in chat as well. Strike now with full force. Is that the decree of the Arch Trader? I think Ash is contractually obligated at that point to do so, to just do this big push here.
You guys are in full
Is that start of battle round or start of... Or is it on your command phase?
battle round. You gotta do it Okay. Sure.
Straight from the War Master? Okay.
Draw my cards.
We'll have to let her know, I guess.
Recover assets. Great, turn 1 draws.
Sabotage, recover assets are the draws. We can. Oh, that's a great draw for Ash, just like she was saying.
Right.
The big benefit here is that it is a little dicey to be completing those secondaries on turn 1.
Okay.
However, importantly, one thing that she can do is she's just going to pull all these actions out of the deck. Emperor's Children are not an army that really wants to do tons of action secondaries, and so just not having to deal with those until next turn is, or for the rest of the game, is going to be huge for her. Essentially, what you want is like starting turn 2, you just want to draw kill secondaries with this army typically, because you just want your models to be pushing forward as much as possible or staging. You don't really want to have to consider like not attacking or not staging with them.
Not perfectly accurate, just this sticks out a bit further than the bubble.
While we're setting up this Alpha Strike here, we will go ahead and talk momentarily about the remainder of Kefalier's army. This includes 3 Skitari Marshals, so granting... Did we roll a 6 advance to start the game? Are you kidding me? Okay, well, here we go, I guess. Now, another benefit, too, is that depending on how Ash can assign these attacks, the Skitari Marshals are not very difficult to kill. They're just... I mean, the unit's T3, they're just a 4+ with a 5+ invulnerable save. So these Infractors are going to be winning on 3s, rerolling 1s, because they have a built-in reroll 1s all the time. If Ash can slingshot any models into this unit, every single Infractor, in fact, every one of her battle line models, has precision on its main attacks. So she's going to be able to likely knock out the Marshal in this Vanguard unit on turn 1 and have the Lord Exultant kill this entire Taraxi squad. If she's able to make the charge to make that possible, that would be an enormous pickup on turn 1. That drops one of the stronger characters in the detachment, because this guy is enhanced. That's our Cantic Thrallnet guy, who's going to be able to provide both Protector and Conqueror Doctrinas to a single target. Looks like we're reloading the Rhino cannon, putting a second unit inside the Rhino, and then doing some repositioning to it. So moving on through Kefalier's list, he is running a Battlesphere uplink Skitari Marshal, who is in the Scorpius Dune Rider currently, I believe. The Dune Riders obviously give you... he's the shoot and scoodle guy. He's going to shootle it, he's going to scoodle. But the Dune Riders will give the unit fire support, so they're going to be getting wound rerolls when they target something that it has already targeted. And then the Marshal gives them hit rerolls, so they're going to be full hit and wound rerolls. And then the Battlesphere uplink allows the unit to move after shooting. So it's then able to pull back into its transport after it attacks to regenerate that effect, essentially, and get its full rerolls the subsequent turn. So that's going to be an obnoxious unit for Ash to deal with, especially because she's going to have to fight through the relatively tough transports while considering that. We also have a Techno-Archaeologist to do a little bit of screening in the back line, although as we saw, Ash is not really using too many, I think at all, any reserve effects, so we're not really worried about it. We have a Skitari Ranger unit that we saw scout up the middle, a couple Skitari Vanguard units, that's 3 Vanguard units, 3 units of 5 Taraxi Skystalkers for some board control, as well as a big unit of 10 Taraxi Sterilizers. That's going to be a little scary for Ash. She probably has to be worried, at least on round 2 onwards, of a potential Rapid Ingress plus Overwatch move, which I think is something that Kefalier is probably going to be electing to set up against some of these attacking sort of infantry squads, because if at any point those guys touch an objective while they're pushing, the Sterilizers will likely cook half the unit, if not the whole thing, and that's obviously no good. You don't want to see that happen. We have two units of Sicarian Infiltrators for forward operation. We see threatening both the top and bottom objectives, as well as a big unit of Sicarian Rust Stalkers to benefit from the advance and charge that the detachment can bring for Skitari Hunter cohort. Those guys will get +2 to advance and to charge rolls if they are near a battle line unit, so they can get up to 4 additional inches of threat range. So they can put the fight on the Emperor's Children and actually start to take their home objectives with those super long threat ranges. Emperor's Children are good at... they're good at fighting, and they have strong combat interrupts, but the problem is that Ash has no fights first in this particular build. There are sort of many instances of fights first in the faction, but you do have to bring them specifically. So Emperor's Children are very susceptible to a melee counterpunch or an awkward interrupt or heroic intervention from a unit like that, which can be a little scary. We have an Onager Dune Crawler with a heavy phosphor blaster. This thing's going to be very good at knocking down the little 5-man squads. It's a Strength 6, AP 1, 2 damage, ignore cover, twin linked.
Right.
It is only AP 1, however, and Coterie of the Conceited has an Armor of Contempt effect, so
You have a shoot back?
maybe we can find a way to
On a range.
to keep ourselves alive from that thing, but obviously that is a scary profile to be facing down. And then a bunch of Scorpius disintegrators that will act as anti-tank. Not too much sort of tanks to shoot at here. They're going to be wanting to shoot at the Demon Princes, I think, is going to be the most exciting target for them. But the access to all the heavy stubbers and all these tanks is going to be huge.
The one shot into him. Misses. 3 shots here. 2 shots.
Yeah, let's restart the clock there. What is the pledge? Looks like 2. I think this is pledge, I imagine.
Hitting on 3s. 1 hitting on 2.
Yeah, I imagine that's pledge. It's out of whatever she's gonna keep tally of whatever she kills out of 2.
Overcharged.
2 pledge here is pretty reasonable. It's likely that she'll kill the Skitarii Marshal as we just talked about if she goes for that play.
Misses. Okay.
Hippie Hunter in chat, what's up? How's it going? Have I seen new rules for World Eater's Defiler? Plus, they move and can shoot as if it's a shooting phase. If anything ends a move or set up within 12. Whoa, that's really good.
So,
Although, is it Ballistic Skill 4? I think we were talking about it yesterday. I think it sounded like a lot of the guns got reduced to Ballistic Skill 4. Although a lot of them got 1 billion extra attacks, so we'll see how it goes. All right, here's the charge. Looks like dual charge into both the Terexi Skystalkers as well as the
basing. Basing is
as well as the Vanguard.
You're going here.
And I assume that we're Protector Doctrina, so these guys will be -1 to hit, although like we just talked about, Ash will have a hit reroll stratagem available.
Okay. The Lord is
Move 9 Hellbrute. Yeah, so I'm interested in those sort of quote-unquote leaks. Because they feel like they're very they're very antithetical to most of the
the regular guys can swing at your Vanguard, and the Lord can swing at your Skystalkers.
Okay.
Okay, and that's my only charge. I'm gonna spend ACP.
Yeah, here we
Spend
go.
ACP for reroll hit.
But it feels very antithetical to
Yeah,
the
so ACP for
so the sort of like the design ethos that 40k has been undergoing for the last
and all of these guys are gonna put all their attacks.
for the edition.
Okay.
Like they've been restricting the amount of like
that was the Lord.
on fight targets in the game, and they've been
rolling.
cutting down 20-man bricks, and it has all those. Well, at least according to the leak, which is I don't know, would be kind of interesting, I guess.
I am lagging. 8 saves with AP3 on your Skystalkers. Two damage each. They should be dead. And then
Oh shit. Yeah, still would have been dead.
yeah, there's 5 of them, right? So
Yep.
22 swings into your Vanguard. Rerolling.
And that reroll strat coming in clutch here.
Spells. These are winning on 3s, rolling 1s. So 12 saves take on your Marshal until he dies.
One damage each.
Mass
One
precision shots.
AP1.
These should all be
AP.
saving on 5s here.
So 5 ups until he dies, basically.
You get 4 ups because of him. Then 6
Oh.
inches.
Okay, 4 ups. He dies.
Alright, he's dead.
Isn't that only for ranged attacks?
Yeah, that's ranged attacks only.
That's what yellow scribe says.
Oh yeah, just attacks.
Okay. Then the rest of these are into the Vanguard.
Kill 7.
Okay. Lord goes here. This guy. This guy can't base anymore, so he's gonna scoot up to here. And get onto cover. This guy doesn't want to move, I think. Actually, if he moves here, I think no, I don't try point because he's around. He's not around base. He's a weird base. So they're done. So that's 2 kills for me. And you can make a swing back. Oh.
1, AP1.
Take a damage. Alright.
Mhm.
And then, oh, I forgot to say. Well, I guess this Rhino's going to sabotage because there's nothing else. I don't think it's in my deployment zone. It is. Okay, never mind. Just say something is doing something, and these 2 are doing recover. I just completely blanked on that. I'll pitch sabotage.
Okay.
Do I get a seat? This Rhino and
Did this Rhino
noise brings
advance?
back, yeah. Oh, wait. No, it didn't. It moved 12. It scouted up 6, and then it moved 12.
Okay.
So do I get something for the kill? I don't. So I'm going to pitch sabotaging at LTP. It's up to you.
Alright. See what we pull. Cover and extend. Home becomes sticky. Cool. Why is it giving me such a big... Can't do a small circle. What the heck's going on?
What's wrong?
I'm trying to change the size of it. It doesn't want to go smaller than that. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Stoic00, thank you for the follow, by the way. Appreciate you, buddy.
Feeling.
Unfortunate that Ash blanked a little bit on the sabotage there. Would have been nice to get a score out of that. But it's a difficult spot to be in because anything that pushes out into the center here is going to get shot. And obviously Adeptus Mechanicus being an absolutely prolific gun line it's a little sketchy.
Yeah, I think you have to pivot around, and you're in protector, so...
There could be a potential position, like maybe in the quarter of this ruin, maybe for like a single infantry unit or something. I've actually been seeing lists that run multiple individual Lord Cacophonists without any attachment, just for situations like that, because they can embark in rhinos, which is kind of interesting.
Right back, you just take your battle dog and... Be right back.
Got a cult demigod with a tormentor melta last night. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, and we awkwardly. Yeah, the interesting thing about these Emperor's Children battle line units is that whatever their like main hand weapon is essentially, so melee weapons for the infractors and range weapons for the tormentors all gain precision, including their anti-tank weapons. So you can be like pounding precision plasma guns into people's units to try to gain command points by shooting at them. This is a huge pull for Ash, though. She's completed her pledge already. Yeah, looks like you're tallying pledge kills here. If she can source an additional kill this turn, she could potentially gain an additional pledge point. So, if for example, I'm actually not sure if it triggers off of like non-attack kills, so things like Desperate Breakout and stuff. Looks like we are failing the Battle Shock test there.
Fine. These guys are gonna fall back. Good.
Oh, didn't die to Desperate Breakout, so it doesn't matter. Fair enough. We're just remain unpunished. It feels a little bit like hazardous checks a little bit, where it sort of occurs very often where Desperate Breakout tends to kill people. Aron getting some models in the mail today. Might try to assemble them tonight. That's sick, dude. Which models are you getting? Emperor's Children stuff? That would be cool. Pledge would be complete if they got destroyed. You can only use this strat when an EC unit kills something. Yeah. So they already, the pledge always triggers checks when you're destroyed. I just wasn't sure of the strat timing. I guess for those who are watching who maybe aren't aware of the interaction, because this is a brand new army and this is going to be a meta detachment. For sure, I think once the army becomes fully playable on IRL tables, the coterie of the conceded detachment ability asks you to make a pledge at the beginning of the battle round for how many units will be destroyed that round, and then unlocks abilities based on how many of those pledges you've succeeded, essentially. So you say at the start of the battle round, Ash said, I think 2 units are going to be destroyed this round, 2 of your opponent's units. By the end of the battle round, if that's true, if 2 or more units have been destroyed, she gains whatever that number she pledged was. So she will be gaining 2 pledge points at the end of this. There is a chart for coterie that unlocks abilities when, depending on how many pledge points have been achieved. If you do not achieve the pledge, you actually take damage on your warlord. Ash's warlord is one of the demon princes over here. I imagine it's the green one. Yeah. So that guy will start taking damage if she ends up failing those pledges. So she's probably going to be pretty careful with that guy, just so he doesn't. She's probably not going to be sort of like playing super fast and loose with him. If your warlord is not on the battlefield, so if they're dead or they're if they're off the table in a transport or something, then you actually do not pledge at all. So you don't get any pledge points. So you need your warlord to be around in order for that effect to trigger. One of the few things in 40k that actually care about your warlord, which is interesting. But the important cutoff points, as soon as she gains 1 pact point, her entire army gets hit and wound rerolls. As soon as she gains 3 or higher, she gains... 1 is rerolls of 1. 3 plus is rerolls, wound rerolls of 1. And then once she gains 5 or higher, she's lethal sustained in melee, and 7 or higher, she criticals on 5-ups with all attacks, and that includes ranged attacks from the Noise Marine squad. So that's another reason that those Lord Cacophonous units are really strong. If in the late game you can get 7 or more pact points on round 4 or 5, those guys start sustaining on 5s, and they go absolutely insane. Especially if once you consider that they may have that additional ability, that additional sort of flipped dice on there as well.
Birds. Go.
Aron got some Arbites. We should normalize a different spelling, a different pronunciation. Arbites. I like Arbites. Build a subductor squad due to invuln and fight on death. Yeah, that's very common for Agents of the Imperium inclusions, for sure. Highly recommended. We see a lot of sort of like Navis Imperialis or Imperial Navy Fleet detachments that are rocking those guys. 3D printing some las cannon Havocs for Shadow Legion. Hell yeah, dude. I haven't had a chance to play the Havoc version of Shadow Legion quite yet. But our beats that's what subductor squads are called? They're the Adeptus R-Beat cops. But yeah, I'm excited about the Havoc class cannons for sure. I think that's going to be sick. I'm actually really excited about the detachment. I'm trying to play them like Chaos Space Marine lists right now, just to play around with some of the more interesting builds. I played one last night that I'm actually kind of happy with. It's like a peace trading build that's built around Rendmasters, and I think that the detachment plays the Rendmaster combo really, really well. Way better than Demonic Incursion, that's for sure. The Lance Lethal changes every unit in the Khorne stable, like, so much. They suck, but get value over 5 turns. Yeah, and I think it's important too that like demons have a gun as well, because it's not really something you have access to otherwise. It was an interesting discussion we had on stream earlier this week, actually, where we talked about goremongers and goremongers being so transformative to the World Eaters unit, like the data sheet lineup, because having an infiltrating unit was never something that they had access to before. And I was complaining a little bit because I felt like it was maybe a little strong and a little one-dimensional for
Cool with that.
World Eaters to gain access to all forms of forward operation when the primary counterplay to them was
like it's Fog of War. I can't Overwatch for the same reason you couldn't Overwatch.
Yep. I need
the counterplay to World Eaters was
throwing these guys out into
infiltrating to block their scout moves, and somebody was mentioning that like
you could Overwatch.
They don't feel like or they feel like armies should have access to all main or like every tool available to be more well-rounded, and I was like, well, I'm not sure if I agree with that. But I think demons are a really good example. I actually think it's probably way too strong if demons had a really good gun, right? I think that's a faction that immediately breaks as soon as you give them a very strong ranged attack. And there's a reason that Lords of Changes are like wildly inconsistent, and Kairos Fate Weaver is kind of a trash pile. I love this move blocking from K Follier here as well. Hey, thank you for the follows, everyone. Virtual. A bunch of vowels. Virtual Vowels is what we're going to call you today. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Also, JBatch123. Appreciate you too. Worst part of Cornless or acquiring and painting 2 Rendmasters. Yeah, also, I think the Rendmaster model, I love the concept of the character, like a huge, like basically bite, like mounted character. But I think the model itself is really bad. What I want to do is get some sort of like big rhinoceros thing and put a bloodletter on top. To be my Rendmasters. I'm sure there's a 3D print out there, and I'll find one eventually. But I want like a big like knight. I don't want like the weird like motorcycle chariot. I want a big cool knight guy. That's what I want to play with. I think it's a sick army though. It's a sick like unit concept, right?
Creep up.
Every army needs a weakness to keep it balanced. Yeah, and I think we talked about this if you watched my coverage of Battle to End Alzheimer's. I think the most interesting thing of 40k about 40k and about army construction games. That have like a very in-depth army construction phase is that it creates opportunities for these very asymmetric games. And we watched that sort of play out in the Battle to End Alzheimer's finals, where we watched this super duper fast, almost entirely melee oriented, very scoring pilled Shadow Legion army play against almost an entire gun line from Necrons, and both armies were competing in an entirely different form of game, and it was a question of who could execute their game plan better than their opponent. And Warhammer 40k is so good at doing that, and army composition games like this are so good at doing that like as soon as you get to a point where everyone is playing similar units and everyone is playing like a similar game plan, I think that the game loses so much it becomes banal. And it would make me sad if we were playing like that, If everyone was a Space Marine army and everyone had Scouts and Devastators and Assault Marines and all that stuff, then that's all you would see, right? It would be back to like 3rd edition where everyone just had the same units. And I think that the asymmetry of 40k is really cool and really good. And also, I think this is a really good example of that benefit here. This, Ash is playing this incredibly aggressive, almost entirely melee. Even the ranged attacks in Emperor's Children are essentially melee attacks because they are only an 18-inch range gun. So they oftentimes are melee, are shooting targets at similar distances that they would be meleeing, because you can either move 14, advance and charge. Demon Prince, whose average threat range is somewhere around 24 inches. Or you could move a move 6 unit and shoot 18, which is, in fact, somewhere around 24 inches. So their ranged attacks and their melee attacks are almost identical, versus this army that has very little melee presence outside of the Rust Stalkers, but plays a movement blocking primary objective control game plan and gets its damage from its guns, right? They're 2 entirely different army archetypes that we're watching play out here. And both these players are making some really cool moves. K. Follier has very carefully measured out the movement of all of his Sicarian infiltrators to ensure that the Demon Princes with an advance cannot end that advance into these positions, because they will be in engagement range of these models.
This thing first into these guys.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
Basically everything is shooting the squad, right?
Yeah, it's done.
Let me just check coherency on these guys real quick.
Which guys?
The infiltrators down here.
Oh.
Kind of all over the place over there. To ensure that the Demon Princes don't get really solid charges into things like the Rust Stalkers. A Demon Prince charging the Rust Stalker unit will kill almost the entire unit. They are in Protector Imperative, but it will kill 2 or 3 of them with mortal wounds and then kill 3 or 4 with the melee attack, and that's the majority of the squad, and that removes that huge melee threat from the board. But Kefalier has so many units and such maneuverability that he's going to be able to prevent that model from moving into that position.
Shots.
And that's really cool, chats. A Rhino Bloodcrusher for Renmaster would be sick. Yeah.
Bullet like 1/10 of an inch. I'll just move them.
I'm thinking there's like it's a little small. Unfortunately, the Redmaster model is really big, so finding one that's appropriate is tough. But there is a Chaos Slaves to Darkness model for Age of Sigmar that's like a big Slave to Darkness, like a big Chaos Lord, like big armored dude on a huge like big like Rhino guy, and it's fucking so cool.
Right.
It's like a big dinosaur, and that's what I want. I just want those. And I tried to buy them, and I realized that they are on like big cavalry bases and not the big oval base that the Redmaster's on, so they're way too small. But I'll find a 3D print that works correctly. I think that'd be sick.
So this guy dies, and this guy
Made sense for World Eaters not to have infiltrators.
cover.
Yeah. And I think the scary part too is that if they can win both the roll off, the infiltration roll off, and the go first roll off, sometimes there's no counterplay, right? Because they prevent you from blocking their scout. They scout like a trillion inches and then move 20 inches into your deployment zone and charge you. And you know, is that always the correct answer? I don't know, but it is a little frightening. We'll see. Looks like we're gonna pick up these infractors real quick here. Those guys got a lot of value for their points though, and Ash is even retaining this unit of 3 Vanguard over here, which is actually kind of beneficial for her because she can kill them on a future turn with like random attacks in order to secure pledges. So she's probably pretty happy about that trade.
It's precision.
Oh, precision. All right. 2 damage.
It's D3, I believe.
All right.
It is. Yeah, D3. 3 damage.
Gotcha.
Really, just need infiltrators not to just get wrecked by certain armies. Yeah, I mean maybe. I don't know if they're like
2 AP is
like it's not like they couldn't gain value from killing your opponent's infiltrators, right? And then just like holding for a turn. I think that's fine. It just stops the game from ending on turn 1. You know what I mean? Which I think is like okay. If you're giving like 200 points of your army to your opponent, that they're going to trade up into, so that you don't immediately lose, I think that's fine. And I think most World Eaters like we'll just have to stage normally in order to do that. But obviously, it's matchup dependent.
Didn't you shoot the Dune Rider first?
sorry the
So that
Dune Crawler.
yes. Okay.
It's 12 shots. Boom.
Spear of the Everchosen. I don't know what that is.
Why are they hitting on 2s?
Because heavy plus weapon skill.
Oh. Right, okay.
7 AP1 ignore cover.
Oh yeah, this guy is cool. Is he new?
Alright. These.
Is he on the same base too?
I'm gonna shoot the Rhino.
Did you just solve my problem, Chad?
Just 3 of them. They do.
Yep.
Oh, he's on a round base, I think.
9.
But that's okay. That could be a noble.
Nothing, I don't believe.
Yeah, the new World Eater kill team is an infiltrator, which is why the discussion was relevant.
Yes. These guys advance. These guys are gonna charge the Rhino.
Yeah.
That's brand new for them,
Like 4. Maybe it.
and it certainly changes quite a bit, quite a few matchups. Only a 4-inch charge here. Probably not going to be in danger of being heroically intervened by the Demon Prince, which I'm sure is an opportunity Ash would take. Emperor's Children are almost always good with heroic intervention declarations, because they can fall back and charge on the future. So it's just additional. It's essentially additional movement for them in that turn. Yeah, so we're using the charge moves for the initial models to block the base of the requirement to base with the furthest model. Might be in an intervention range. Actually, kind of looks like it does. You might have to roll pretty high for Ash, but she does have 2 CP to try to reroll it.
They do 3 attacks each. I think there might be one different there. Power. 3. No, they're all same. And strength is.
Interestingly, here we're gonna try to block the Lord Exultant inside the Rhino here from getting a good disembarkation. Essentially forcing him to disembark out the back of the Rhino, which will really restrict where he can go. The big benefit here to the Adeptus Mechanicus here too is that Emperor's Children Rhinos actually don't self-repair. They're too masochistic, I guess. And
I don't know.
so any damage that we are able to inflict here is actually permanent.
Are you still currency? You are. Okay, cool.
Yep. So that's gonna really restrict Ash's ability to
Then my turn.
disembark.
Rhino will smack you back.
Recover assets, extend battle lines are the draws for Kefalier this turn, by the way. Recover assets, I'm sure, will be a pretty easy conclusion for him. I think that's why he's he was defending this back corner so hard. And then extend battle lines is an easy pickup here.
Before recover assets. Who are your guys doing recover assets?
So instead of healing, the Emperor's Children Rhinos have the Impulsor Assault Vehicle effect.
This thing didn't shoot. I don't think it dies.
So they can advance and disembark units. The units that they then disembark can't charge.
Can you shoot him with anything?
But they can.
This guy and this guy there.
They can do the. They can like shoot with Noise Marines. The big benefit too is that they don't get the downside of Thrill Seekers because they themselves haven't advanced. They just count as having made a normal move. So they are. They're able to really extend the threat range of their ranged attack units, which is awesome. Also, the Rhinos are great sort of delivery systems for Blast Masters as well. Dr. Dudes with the resub as well. Looks like my
pledge. You're dying. You're dying. You're dying. Dying.
Things shall get loud now. Yeah, so I think Ash is probably one of the benefits that we have of playing the Noise Marines here. Obviously, Noise Marines are great at killing these light infantry units, but the big benefits is that we can kill enemies without having to force.
You're dead.
Without having to commit melee units to the fight, which is a big deal. And she does have reroll once to hit now, army-wide, thanks to the pledge working from last turn. 3 is the pledge this turn. If she's able to complete that, she'll get that reroll once to wound as well, unlocked.
Assassination and Storm Hostile.
And she'll actually gain lethal sustain and melee too.
Oh,
so she'll be most of the way down the track at the end of this battle round if she's able to complete these.
Storm Hostile is just this objective, I believe?
Yep.
Okay. Primary and...
Storm Hostile, Assassination are the pulls. Assassination might be a little tough because she already scored it last turn, and most of the other characters are heading in the back. Kefalier did restrict where this Demon Prince could go, so we don't really have good charges into the back corner over here. I don't believe it has anywhere that it can really go. We have a Techno-Archaeologist in the back over here, but it's not really doing anything. So, and then the last one's in a transport. So Assassination feels like it's probably a dead draw, unfortunately. Would have been a great draw turn 1. But looks like we are just gonna be scoring out that Storm Hostile this turn. Although this detachment loves getting CP, so I think just discarding is probably fine for Ash.
Yeah. Yes, it does. It's going to go over somewhere here.
And the Rhino usually gets speaks to you, tells you to hurt me harder. Yeah, it has like a dirge caster on the top. The dude inside just like speaks to you in a really effed up
Noise Marines.
Like voice modulator.
Going.
It hurts, but it is a good pain. Noise Marines pushing forward. This is the Lord Cacophonous unit as well. So I think what we're hoping to do is set up for an Overwatch into the Rust Stalkers. Obviously, these guys will get reroll ones to hits on that Overwatch, sustained hits, and an auto flip. Although I think...
I think it's going to be a little bit somewhere here.
Although I think... Let's see. 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 Let's see.
Yep.
That
Even
might
pencil
be, I think it is once per turn, so I think she can, yeah, she can use it on her turn and her opponent's turn. So we can get an auto flip on the Lord Cacophonous here. It's likely that this unit will be able to fire some guns into the rest stalkers and also kill the infiltrators if Ash feels that she needs that. But then on Overwatch, she can also ensure that one of the Blastmaster big shots automatically hits and sustains, so that's a minimum of 2 hits, and then she'll probably average another a couple more out of the rest of the unit too. So that's a dangerous Overwatch from that unit, and they're excellent, almost perfectly statted at killing Sicarian Rust Stalkers. Very aggressive push, though.
He can be a bit closer, okay.
We did actually end up putting stuff in Strategic Reserve. I think I said earlier that we didn't, but I guess the players hadn't moved them onto the board yet. Looks like we do have a Disintegrator there, plus the Sterilizers, which we're looking for rapid ingresses. Which is something that we have to consider this turn, although I don't think Ash is going to be committing any of her light infantry or medium infantry to the fight, besides the Noise Marines. So I would be surprised if they got a really good drop here, unless they just want to drop into the ruins and then push forward. But the Disintegrator coming in does have some pretty good shots at killing Noise Marines, so it could pop out off of Kefalier's backline and just sort of return fire into this flank. And actually give him a little bit of ability to counter this attack. I think Ash is going to try to use these ruins in the center here to block a lot of these models. Obviously, the Noise Marines are not inside that ruin. If the Demon Prince gets a good enough charge, he can engage only these infiltrators, potentially, which will give her the opportunity to hide behind the ruin to make all of the guns back here, give them a tough time shooting down the line. These Adeptus Mechanicus armies are so voluminous, it does feel like it's a little bit difficult for them to deploy everything in aggressive positions, but it also feels like Kefalier may be deployed a little defensively. One thing that Adeptus Mechanicus, that Emperor's Children don't have going for them is long-range shooting. The basically best shooting that they have in the Codex are the Noise Marines, which are only 18-inch range. So you don't really have to be worried about Emperor's Children shooting you on turn 1. They don't have Forge Fiends, they don't have Predators, they don't have Vindicators, they don't have any of these tools that other Chaos Space Marine armies have. They are almost entirely melee or ranged attacks that ape melee attacks. So I think that we maybe deployed the Disintegrators in a very, very defensive position, which is maybe left Kyle out of position here, but we'll see how he's able to reposition as the game goes on. Obviously, we can't just flip to Conqueror Imperative and gain assault on our vehicles, so they're going to be able to potentially reposition themselves if they need to.
Usually 9.
Did I watch the awesome Hellraiser clip? I did. Yeah, we talked about it on stream earlier this week. Yeah, with the guy melting. Super cool. It was funny when they cut between like the wax sculpture that was like reforming, and I think it's probably because you told me how they made it. It looked very obvious. I imagine that if I had been been going in raw, I would have been like, well, that's like, I would have been way more impressed by it. But it was funny when they switched between that to like the puppeted skeleton that's just like bouncing around, because those were like very very like funny cuts. But also that's obviously a very important, a very cool clip. Ash here, I don't know if I love this move. Like we were just talking about, chat, we could see the Skystalkers drop in and try to force an Overwatch. I wonder if Ash is going to commit Noise Marines to try to Battle Shock that, or actually we don't force a Battle Shock check, I think, necessarily with them by themselves. They need a Lord Cacophonous to do that. So I think that there is a position here for a Tyranxi Sterilizer unit that can Overwatch into this Lord Exultant, and because they're on the objective, they're going to get full wound rerolls, and that's going to be disastrous for these Infractors. I think Ash should not have moved on to that objective. That would have made that shot much less powerful.
9. 1.
Deploying more in the open with shooting units, since Emperor's Children have very little counter. Yeah, I think that's an important thing to consider for both Emperor's Children and most builds of World Eaters. There are some World Eater builds that can focus more on Forge Fiends, or on stuff like Lords of Skulls that are much more ranged oriented and are able to sort of actually reach out and touch you. And those situations are the ones where you have to consider those long range guns from hitting you. But in most cases, they're not really going to be shooting at you very much.
Oh wait, shit. Sorry, I forgot one thing. This random is sorry. We'll split that back to me. Try 3.
It looks so much more horrifying if you didn't understand how they did it. The effect is much more horrifying for being practical. Yeah, I think that practical effects are like way more just impactful than digital stuff for sure.
Okay.
And I don't think that's a particularly hot
all
take.
the way against the wall so that I should be able to get my noise marines out. Okay, yeah.
There's some stuff that's like you can do like
Well,
creepy
then
stuff
I
with
completely
digital, I
agree.
think, a little bit more effectively. But like just like horrifying body horror is like so much more impactful with practical effects that yeah.
Also the unshot.
I definitely agree that it's scarier that way.
Let's finish.
Are we considering a backline drop here from K5A? No way.
Bolter functionality. That's it.
That Overwatch shot is like crazy good.
You got a heavy bolter without sustain.
This is linchpin though, so it looks like K5A may be looking for a Skystalker drop into the back. The Skystalkers can move 12, shoot, and then move 6 if they don't have access to a battle line unit nearby. And so a rapid ingress here could potentially take Ash's home objective, assuming that they don't
What's in
lose
this
any
thing?
models, because I believe that she has
Like,
2 models on
like
that
this.
objective. Yeah, so it's 4 OC. But the likely, yeah, there we go. That's the drop we were expecting. The likelihood that she loses at least 1 model to like assorted shooting from the Rhino and the Demon Prince is like
I forgot
pretty
that's such a
pretty
good
reasonable.
Yeah.
Yep, this Overwatch is going to be a disgusting. Existence is a good movie for practical effects.
Pam?
Never heard of it.
Cool. We want to be 18 away from them, so we're good.
You just got to watch out for the Lord Exultant here because you're a little close.
I think I'm good, right?
No?
This one will
Okay.
go. Yeah, we're good. They should all be able to see.
Ooh.
Cool.
Oh boy! All right,
I might
Ash.
delete some.
Okay, so here's the question: do you even declare this charge?
Please do not delete all lines.
If you when you click on them, it puts it right back.
No. I mean, there are some lines that I have
Oh,
that I
okay,
want to
sorry.
keep on. Don't
Okay.
just
Sorry.
delete everybody's lines. Okay. Anyway. This Rhino's going to shoot these guys.
An example is the blood test scene in the thing.
Plasma
Yeah, for
pistol,
sure.
Pistol from the Lord Exalted inside.
The thing is, I mean, the gold standard, right?
So 8 shots with overcharged. The plasma, obviously. 8 shots from the bolters. I'll throw in the bolt pistol because it's the same save.
Blood force.
Right.
You actually should have pulled the pistol out separately because it actually doesn't get the -1 to hit here.
Well, it's
Oh, it does. Just kidding. They're stealth.
3 saves.
They're all going to be -1 to hit. The VR movie that came out the same year as The Matrix. Huh. I'll look it up.
No one's in cover.
This guy's in cover. I guess not. No. So 2 go through.
Alright, plasma. It's plasma wounds, 1 invuln. Hazardous check passed.
How much damage?
2.
The funny thing about Chaos Randos is how much like random shooting they have.
There, it's gonna shoot these tracks.
You don't think about it until they shoot like 14 times. Because we had
Yeah.
there's even a Havoc launcher on that thing that doesn't have any targets.
Yeah, 2 saves.
Although it might have been able to shoot the Traxi, actually. I don't know. But they just shoot so many times. It's crazy. 16 or like 10 plus D6 shots in total, including the 2 guys shooting at the top. And that's just pistols. If they had Sonic Marine, or Noise Marines and Sonic
Oh, I
Blasters
guess this
inside, they'd
guy's
shoot
not-
even
this
more
guy's not
times.
in cover, technically.
This guy. can't see him. Oh, so it's only
Okay.
one. There we go. They have
Sure.
1, 2, 3 in cover. Yeah.
It's 2 damage. It's a, like I said, it's functionally a heavy bolter without sustain. These guys will shoot the Restalkers. The back row and the kickoff. The front row of this are shooting the Restalkers. The back row and the Lord are shooting these guys.
Okay.
So, front row.
How many shots of this? This is
6 plus 3, so 9 shots.
9 shots on 4s, and what's their strength?
4s rolling 1s, and 6 of them are wounding on 2s. 3 of them are wounding on 3s. All of them are instant kills.
2 PP. We're gonna. We will 5 up, feel no pain this.
Okay. Last masters. 4s rolling 1s. 1 sustained. Two saves. -2 ignore cover. 3 damage each.
Go get them, blasty masties.
3 shots with the Sonic Blaster. 3 hits.
Just the front rank in melee, or in range, unfortunately. A classic conundrum for the Noise Marines.
The ones in front are eating 9 shots from the Sonic Blasters.
Oof.
And then 6 shots from the character, which are the same profile functionally, rolling 1s. 1 sustained.
Is he on 3s or 4s?
He hits on 2s.
Okay.
Sorry.
2's
that's why I
base
saved
plus
on-
stealth.
Technically, I could have pulled out of his. That's all right.
What?
It's the same
This
activation.
character was shooting 2. Is that who you did?
He's attached.
Oh, he's attached. Okay.
Yes.
So
If he was together, if he wasn't, I would have rolled a separate activation. 2 damage each.
3.
And then rolling on these guys. Doom Siren. 3 mortal wounds on your Restalkers.
From who?
His ability after they shoot, I roll 3d6. Each 4-up is a mortal. And then they need to take a battle shock check at -1.
Interestingly, that's not a
They fail?
Yeah.
Battle shock.
that's not a leadership ability. The mortal wounds generated by that guy, so you can actually play singleton.
7.
Um,
Fine.
singleton Lord Cacophonous, and they still trigger that. That's actually fascinating.
This guys.
Don't know if I'd really consider that, but it does seem strong.
So start with the Havoc Launcher.
Tough to get him into range though, because they are
shooting the blast
just little
blasters in
pistols.
very frequency, so that is 6 shots because you are squad of 10, right? Yeah.
Yep.
How many hits? One box. 3 saves, AP 0.
Good.
And then the combi weapon, the combi bolter, whatever. 1 save. Yeah, kill. And 12 shots with the Blast Masters. 3 saves, AP 2 in no cover. These guys are gonna shoot your Taxi.
Which guys? These guys?
These guys. Overcharging the plasma. Plasma misses. Does he kill himself? He does not. 4 bolt pistol shots plus the Lord. These are hitting on 4s because of your -1, and this one's hitting on 3s because of your -1. Those are lethals, and this is another. So 4 saves, AP0 on this guy's stock, on sterilizers, whatever they're called. Kill a dude. All right. I think that is it for shooting. I have Storm Hostile Assassination. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna go charges. Demon Prince into these guys. Eight. Get him over here, standing in cover, I believe. Yes, if it weren't for your super hit box, so he's gonna go there. Yeah, look, this is less than 5 across. I started there. With 8 is impossible to succeed. What's that? Mortal wounds. 5 mortal wounds.
On these guys?
Yep.
Is the awkward part about impact mortals like that is that you give your opponent control over where your combat movement can go?
Over here, more looking into these guys. Should make it with a 3. Yep, that's definitely within 1. Yes. That's it, 1. 6 and 1 doesn't make it. Okay. So that is 0 kills so far. Cool. Demon Prince is going to try and charge here. Seven.
Just go around this corner.
Whoa, Hippie Hunter.
So that
LGS was shut down permanently. The owner did some illegal stuff and was arrested by the FBI on Thursday. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, good.
I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks super hard.
Okay.
What a weird situation, though.
And these guys are going to charge these guys.
To come open last year, face cast base breach 3 times.
No, I think you have to make the charge now. Is that how
Nope.
it works?
Nope.
I
You
just do it.
you Overwatch before I roll. It is when you are declared.
Yeah, real
We'll
bolters.
do their...
The FBI arrested him. That's wild.
Come on. There we go. It's going to be 34.
Mhm.
On 4s, rerolling everything.
Yep.
24 saves.
Okay. NAP.
No. But in order.
Oh, 24.
AP for Feel No Pains, because this is before allocation.
Yuck.
And then
You have to do that during the...
nope. It's not when targeted. It is when I allocate a attack to your model. So it's when I allocate saves. So it's before I allocate saves, which is now. So I take 4 damage, and the Feel No Pain does nothing.
Well,
And then
turns out just roll great saves, and you'll be okay.
4,
Not a good charge, though.
Nope.
5 will fail.
reroll that.
Big money? Big money, no way. Oh, that's the biggest money.
Can these guys fall back and shoot?
No.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna be an inch off of them. I'll put the inch up. Yeah.
All right, well. Might be able to touch those guys. It will require Ash kill this unit, which is not the most difficult thing, but it is a Lord Exultant. It's probably going to require his
Yep. That's
his
all
Super
the
Saiyan
trackers.
activation for just a unit of Vanguard. But again, I think Ash is going to try to do a tabling here. She has to kill as many of this high OC battle line stuff as she can.
Over here, he's going to pop his once per game. Got swing.
To obviously
Start
reduce the
with
effectiveness
these
of the
guys.
AdMech
That is 14
army ability, but then also reduce their bottom 5 scoring.
hit reroll.
So this is probably worth it for her, but it's an awkward situation.
Are you minus 1 to hit in melee as well?
Yes.
There's a single store in Maryland that does GTs.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Wait, which was the store? Which was the store that
I
got
thought it
shut
was
down?
the -1.
Actually, we can talk about it later. We're watching the game.
It's both. With this attachment. But the attachment's a detachment.
It's stealth, is it?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
stealth. Okay. Good. So we'll do these attacks into them on 4s, rolling 1s. And then these are on 3s, rolling 1s. 6 saves at -1 on your Skitari.
They have lethal.
Lord gives them diesel.
Kill 3.
Lord
Saving throws so far.
whips. 3 saves at -2. And he's got 8 more attacks after that.
He hits.
He's
on
got 8
three.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many? 3.
Well, 3 more saves at AP2.
Good.
Oh, crap.
And 6 more saves at AP3.
Do they live here? There's a reasonable chance. No, all right. Ooh, that was close. That whip bouncing was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Move in and tag these guys.
So now the only thing that the Taraxi themselves would have to fight themselves out of melee, which is probably unlikely, although they do have a reasonable brick of attacks and a melee weapon on the unit champion, I think, if he's in range. Which I don't know where he's at, to be honest.
And then
What did we pull him to shooting? Actually, I think we did.
currently. So can you move your hand, Trevi? Can't see.
So they're
He's in 4, so I just need to end.
just going to try to punch themselves out. I don't know if you would want to engage the Ruststalkers, though, because that could actually kill the unit.
Gonna go over here.
Oh, we are?
Okay. Oh, yep. Oh, no, your bubbles with. Okay.
You can tag them, right? That was
I don't want.
26.
I don't have to. I can't base you, so I don't have to.
You used to put the engagement range, I thought.
Yeah, up to end with engagement range of 1 unit.
Okay, so these guys don't have to. If they can move. within
They can
engagement
move. They
range-
can do whatever. They'll kill the whole unit. I don't want to tag them.
So I thought these guys can't move if they can't base to base, because they can base here or here.
No, they can still move. They just need to end closer to this model. And I only need to tag a unit.
Okay. Alright, cool.
Yeah.
That is correct.
This unit.
The unit consolidating
I've still got fights on the other side of the board.
has to end engaging at least one enemy,
Is
with the requirement that they go to base contact if they can, and each model
this
moves
one is bed not
towards
touching, this
the
one is bed
nearest
touching,
enemy
so we'll go
model.
this way. He'll just make his switch.
Unfortunately, this forced the Lord to move out of the cover here, but it looks like he's probably going to be able to kill the unit and then jump back in.
Attacks. 2s,
Taking the little swing.
3s, rolling 1s, and wounding on 3s. 6 saves at AP0. They should be dead.
2 damage each.
Well, it's 1 damage each. It doesn't matter. You failed 3. They've got 3 wounds on the unit.
I actually don't think they were -1 to hit here too, because they're not in range of the
Also, you just
Vanguard unit.
Also, you just deleting lines killed my kill counter.
Sorry.
And then over here, Maul Fiend, 1000. Do that.
You didn't make the base to base? No?
I did not make the base to base. He was 3 point something away. I rolled a 3.
Okay.
6 attacks with the punches. I'll spend the CP here for 4 hits.
Oh, these guys gotta take battle shocks too. That's one of those. -1.
Okay. Rhino. Fine. Mauler not fine. Alright, I guess I keep that CP. Cool. If I had known that, I would have tank shot them, but oh well. This is what it is. 2 hits. 2 wounds.
AP?
AP2. Hunter dude of the moon.
That was the one with the wound.
Oof.
Alright.
It's a bit of an underswing.
And, I killed something. That's
Only 2 kills this turn, though. Didn't quite kill the Rust Stalkers, or the Infiltrators on either side. Which is kind of the classic Adeptus Mechanicus experience.
I'm scoring it because you only have a character here and a character here, correct?
Correct.
Leaving Sicarian Rust Stalkers on 1 or 2 models is like a classic. It feels like it happens all the time. So Ash has presented her Eternal Servitude Demon Prince for sacrifice. This guy is about to eat a bunch of laser beams, but obviously he does have a pretty reasonable chance to regenerate if he is killed, which means that Ash would retain control of this objective unless Kefalier moves some stuff to contest, and Ash would love nothing more than for stuff to move up to contest. Obviously, without like a tank shock or anything, there's no really strong melee threats on this north side of the board, so there's very little that's going to be able to kill that guy after the shooting phase. The most credible melee threat that the Adeptus Mechanicus have access to is their Sicarian Rust Stalkers. And obviously, Kefalier has to worry about that Overwatch from the Sonic Blasters, which might put those guys down if they are not able to escape. Although, honestly, Ash might be looking for a different Overwatch this turn because she has to secure a kill to gain that additional pledge point. The loss of that 3rd kill is huge. Mauler Fiend failing the tank shock here was a big deal. Or, excuse me, the battle shock. Which then, because it didn't tank shock, I guess, is the point.
Cool. Over to me. Let's do what we pull.
But it doesn't matter what phase the unit gets killed in, so if Ash is able to kill anything in melee on the Adeptus Mechanicus turn, or she's able to kill something with Overwatch, either of those will work for that pledge. We could also maybe see a unit get killed by Desperate Breakout if the Sicarian Rust Stalkers at the top over here fall back and fail a battle shock check. We'll see. Assassination, Storm, Hostile are the 2 picks for Kefalier. That's a great brick of secondaries. I'm sure Ash is probably not that happy about that pull.
They're good.
She has several objectives that she has posted up for in order that are available for Storm Hostile objective.
Okay, and then these guys as well.
Those guys over there.
And then Assassination should be relatively easy. He does fail the battle shock check on the Sicarian Rust Stalkers up here, so it might force a Desperate Breakout. That's probably Ash's one last hope for peace to gain that additional pledge point.
These guys not killing enough is unfortunate. Kill it down to the last one too. Just killing one more would have been big. That's all right. CP +1 wound.
All that would have meant is cost me a CP to roll all hits instead.
That's true. It depends. Like if I killed 2 or 3, it makes a big difference. Go anywhere.
So the pledge points it's a persistent stack. I'm sure I can actually show you the ability if I set it up here real quick.
Up at the end of the turn.
Base, yeah.
how do we kill this? Get one here.
Let me just pull it up on screen real quick here, chat, so that we can reference.
All right, let's do that.
All right. I put the pledge chart in the corner, and I bet I can do a little. I'll just put a little meter for us to follow along with.
Oh, that. Let's look at them.
Use noise marines back here.
There, hopefully that illuminates things a little bit. So Ash's detachment ability gives her pact points. The pact points are just a persistent tracker. So based on how many pact points she currently has, she unlocks abilities based on the chart. Those are cumulative. So currently she has the 1+ ability active. If she's able to secure 3 kills by the end of the battle round, she currently has 2 out of the 3. So she just needs 1 more during the Adeptus Mechanicus turn, which is a little bit sketchy. If she's able to do that, she will unlock that 5+ ability. If she fails and she doesn't get those 3 kills for her pledge, then she will, in fact, take mortal wounds on her warlord, who's one of the demon princes in the bottom here. So, or in the center, excuse me. So it's kind of a big deal. Not only does she lose any persistent pledges or potential points that she could be getting based on the current pledge, but she'll also take damage if she fails the pledge. The 3 was, I think quite a bit though. It was a little bit of a tough ask, but obviously, she did underswing a little bit into like the infiltrators at the top, I think, and then failing a charge at the bottom was not great, although it was a little bit of a tough charge.
7 plus 3 on 15.
Okay.
All right, so big question of the day: are we going to see an Overwatch on these guys? Ash has a lot of command points remaining. She could hold for. I guess there's probably a very little chance that the Demon Prince doesn't get tagged here.
Right. At the end of your move, I'll Overwatch them.
All right, well, here it is. Let's go. I guess it is the entire unit shooting, so this is going to be a lot. It's going to be hitting on 6s, sustained hits with a flip, and reroll once to hit.
6 plus 12 from the regular guns.
Why plus 12?
Once. There's 12 regular guys plus 6 from him.
I didn't know if they had like blast or something.
No. So that's 4 hits.
The top is 4.
1 save.
I don't think we rerolled our ones there. Or maybe she just failed.
AP1 ignore cover, so it kills the guy. And then 6 shots was
That was a little bit. That wasn't great. Oh, that's pretty good though.
6 with his.
These are flip here. These are 1-2s.
It's his enhancement.
Not going to kill the unit though.
Stun.
Although it's unlikely they kill on the crackback, and so Ash could maybe kill them
5 saves at AP2.
on her turn, on her fight.
5 did.
That might actually have been the worst case scenario for Ash, because I think there's no chance that K. Falier charges with that remaining model. Oh no!
These guys are stuff on.
Unless the Cacophonous ability triggers, I imagine that's the shooting phase locked, right?
Cool. These guys will fall back.
In your shooting phase, yeah, that would be really strong. Oof. Yeah, that might have actually been really like a bad situation for Ash. If she had killed like 2 or 3 models, the Rust Stalkers.
One protection strat too. It's both in one strat, so it gets both.
The Rust Stalkers maybe still charge, and she has the potential to kill them on the crackback or do an intervention from the Demon Prince or something. But because it's one model now, like you can't imagine that K-Folier charges here.
These guys are coming out of this.
And the 3 models on the objective will also contest the objective, so he doesn't really need to, because the Demon Prince is only OC3, he doesn't really need to play in the Sprinkler here. Oof. Takes D3 Moto 1s for picking up a break of infiltrators. Yeah, it's a tempo loss though, because the 3 pledge points is such an important break that it's unlikely she'll max the pact chart by the end of the game now.
Fine here. These guys will get out of this thing.
If the Demon Prince on the top lives, it is likely to live because it's a Pledge of Eternal Servitude. So it's essentially a Battle Shock check to survive. Obviously, it will be pretty significantly wounded. And I think right now what we're going to see is this Skitarii Vanguard just control that objective at the end here. So they're going to shoot it down. It's probably going to Eternal Servitude back in. Obviously, there's a potential that it fails, which would be unfortunate. But then the Vanguard will engage it and steal the objective.
If your Dune Rider kills all of them somehow, these guys don't get to get back in, right?
No, they get back in. They just have to shoot.
Yeah, if these guys are all dead, they don't have anything to shoot.
Okay, but they're gonna have more than one thing to shoot at.
Okay, yeah, all right. That was my question because
the Pledge guys at the top. It's Pledge guy at the top and Warlord in the middle currently. Is the breakdown of unique Demon Princes. This is probably still a good setup for Ash. She still has to worry about the Scorpius Dune Rider and another Tyraxi Skystalker unit plopping down on the table right now. But this forces the fight with the Mechanicum army, which is exactly where Emperor's Children want to be. The entire game plan of this whole faction is setting up these peace trades, and so forcing these Skitarii into the meat grinder is exactly where where she's happy to be standing, and it's especially important too because it's likely that the shooting here is going to have to either split between the Demon Prince and the Mauler Fiend or leave one of them alive, in which case Ash just gets to counter hit really hard.
Doesn't want to come down yet.
So this is certainly not the worst situation for her. Just an unfortunate underswing on a couple of these little small units.
This guy.
Yeah, the Demon Prince is OC3.
Oh, we flip that.
Yeah, no disagreements or anything. Yeah, I just think that they're
There's 2.
You're OC2 on them?
they're playing a tight game.
1. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so you're not flipping it.
No, we're just tied. Yeah. But you don't have it. I can still flip this one. These 2 guys need to fall back.
So what could happen here is ooh boy. All right. So here's what I think that we maybe made a little bit of a misposition on Kyle's part. The Skitarii Marshal's inside this unit. Ash has 2 CP remaining. And he's likely setting up to charge the Demon Prince in order to get to the objective because they've already moved. The problem is that if Kyle declares a charge here, the Skitarii Marshal will have to move towards the Demon Prince. We lost one model to fall back after the Battle Shocked Infiltrator unit. Are you kidding me? So here's what Ash could do to kind of punish this mistake. Assuming that the Demon Prince eats shots and respawns, right, which is a 60 or 70% chance. Probably it's like 75 or something. That it passes a Battle Shock check here in order to respawn itself.
AOC 6 at Feel No Pain. If you have mortal wounds, the Feel No Pain is also 4 at Feel No Pain.
Okay.
The Marshal will have to move with this unit
Shooting.
Kyle will have to keep the Demon Prince alive if he wants
this unit
the
to him.
if he wants the Storm Hostile objective, because currently he's not storming any hostile objectives. However, that will not kill the Demon Prince, almost assuredly, with the Vanguard. However, it can Epic Challenge the Marshal, and it has a 3 damage melee weapon, so it's very likely, and Ash could potentially hit reroll plus Epic Challenge. It's very likely to precision out this Qatari Marshal, and that will secure her 3rd kill. Ironically, it would also secure her assassination, but she already ditched that secondary, which would be crazy.
You said the 2 characters were just this one and this one. There's one more here.
Yeah, one more back here.
Then I would have kept Assassinate.
Okay, sorry.
Because those 2 are untouchable. This guy is very touchable.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the difference, right? Like, I can't kill the guy in the transport. I can't kill the guy who's behind the wall in your home objective, but I can kill the guy in the squad.
So you keep an Assassinate?
Yes. Would you like to move him? Would you like to change anything as a result?
Yeah, just stick behind the wall.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's fair.
Down a CP?
No, I don't. I gained a CP because these guys killed the unit, and I passed my leadership check. So, all right. So, what was that?
Sniper rifle.
1 save?
3 saves.
Oh, all right. No. Don't think I rolled them. Did I roll them? I did not. Okay. AP 0, I assume.
Interesting.
Good damage.
Sniper rifle hits. Does not wound. Plasma overcharge.
Well, all that stuff we just talked about doesn't matter anymore. I actually think sort of like asking for that take back for Ashes might maybe worth on the whole a couple of additional victory points for the assassination on the subsequent turn, which we will probably get.
Yep.
But now K. Follier is in a position where he can protect that model from a epic challenge.
Yeah, that's it.
And he's like wary of it now too. So
fire this
Hazardous check.
Okay. Boom. This guy can hit you. If you want to fire,
Disintegrate that?
there's small guns over here. No, yeah, we'll just put everything in them.
Okay.
Big guns first. The Firmite. One. AP3.
Save.
Cool. The Twin Linked one. 3. AP2.
Does this signal cover?
Yeah. Yes,
Why does this signal cover?
no, I thought you said, does he have cover? I said, yes, he has cover.
No, I thought you said. I said, does it signal cover? Right. Top 3s. 1 goes through.
2 damage.
Down to 1. Take 1.
And then the 18.
Mhm.
I'm off. Two.
Okay. I don't think it mattered, but I don't think these guys hit on 2s because they moved, right?
No, they don't. They hit on 3.
Yeah, you hit on 2s for one of them earlier.
Okay.
It was the one I.
The Firmite hits on 2s. The other one's hit on 3s. Yeah.
Okay. So 2 saves, I guess. Save.
All right. We'll go over to this disintegrator. We'll shoot everything into him.
Alright, he will AOC this.
A big gun, Firmite. Everything hits. 1. AP3.
Alright, so in cover and AOC, so AP1. Saved.
The other gun. I think this is your toughness is 10. This
9.
needs 9, so 2.
Alright, 2 ups. I will CP that, I think. Yeah, I'll CP that. I can't. He's fine.
Cool. And then the 18 shots. 1.
Okay. He's fine. Sorry. This guy's got to shuffle like half an inch because his guns stick out that way on everyone. That's fine.
Sorry?
No, this gun sticks out. Can't be off the table, and it's put. And I know the disintegrator can't build them flat.
Okay.
That's all. So,
what do we want to do here? We'll fire these 3 guys into these guys.
all right.
Plasma. Hits. 1. AP 3.
Guys.
Cool. Sniper rifle.
So just real quick on the disruptor missile shot, because it's a random damage weapon, you can only CP reroll if you slow roll. So the 1 would have failed to save.
No, that's only for rolling the damage. I rerolled the save.
Yeah, so fast dice rolling can only be used if all of the weapons have an identical profile. And so because the damage characteristic hasn't been determined yet, you can't fast roll it. It's in the server rulings for BCO. Just had to double check.
Okay. Damage
I thought that was just for the damage roll, not the save.
It's for all fast rolls as long as they're the same damage characteristic.
Yeah, so like fast dice rolling in general can only be used if the damage characteristic is identical.
Yeah, so it means you have to call out a reroll beforehand, right?
Well, you just have to slow roll it. Yeah, because you don't get to know what damage you've already taken before you roll the last one.
Fast rolling may be used when everyone hit rolls. Okay, sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Damage then.
2.
4.
4?
That's +1.
No, this was
This is disruptor missile?
launcher. This was the missile launcher.
Yeah.
Not the
Of course. Yeah.
So 2.
More like 2. All right. Forgot where we were. This guy.
he had
No,
this squad was shooting.
Yes, sniper rifle.
Yeah.
Hits. Wounds. AP 2.
On the Lord or on the unit?
On the Lord.
Save.
Cool. And then one little guy. Nothing. And done. Yeah, 5 ones left. I could. I'll just put it there. And then take. Fix him up.
I'm not aware of any
Can...
effects or if any rule change to fast dice rolling. Chat. They changed command reroll to allow you to use it while fast dice rolling, because technically, if you are in a position where you were
3 to go through.
like slow rolling, then the command reroll couldn't be used.
You need
However, you still have to be eligible to fast dice reroll,
One damage.
which excludes random damage weapons.
We'll shoot this doing crawl.
Yeah, so it allows you to do it if you're fast dice rolling, but technically you're not supposed to be fast dice rolling when you're rolling saves against a random damage.
Okay.
One. AP 3. Engineers Marines.
Okay.
Unless there's a rules change that I'm not aware of, and there's nothing about it in the commentary.
Wait, there's +1, right? Yeah.
3 AP 2.
E5. E5.
3 AP 2.
Okay. 5 ups.
I think
One more die. No,
like in technicality, it was like it was like technically you couldn't do it if you were fast dice rolling. It was like a weird situation because like fast dice rolling has a clause that like if the order of an attack would matter, then you can't fast dice roll. And which I think like command reroll would circumvent, which is why they changed it. I I don't know. It's like fast dice rolling, just like kind of a mess of a rule. In fairness,
6.
all I know, Chance,
Two on
is
the
that
load and
it has a
like-
cutout for random damage.
Cool. We are going to fire this disintegrator at the Demon Prince.
The Dune Rider, you mean?
Yep. Sorry, you're right. Four saves.
Fine.
We're gonna fire this whole unit at them.
Okay. My lord's still there, by the way.
Yeah, that's alright. He's got
Okay.
3 ones left.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. 10.
Your marshal can't shoot him, but
Yeah, Marshall will go the other way.
Okay.
21. Does this make sense? Could just shoot. Yeah, I think this makes more sense. I gotta get rid of Demon Prince. He just gets back up though.
Yeah, it's a specific cutout in the final clause of the fast dice rolling rule. If attacks allocated to a target inflict a random damage, you cannot use the fast dice rolling approach. You will need to roll the dice one at a time.
what the hell was that?
I don't know.
Okay, I think you need to reroll that.
I think we can look at the last 5 and then it will just tell us, right?
Yeah, the most recent was unknown player, so that means it didn't
Oh,
work.
okay.
The dice didn't go in; they just exploded.
How many were on the hit roll? Did you see that? Last 5 rolls. So unknown.
So that was 4 plus 5 plus 2.
2.
So okay, so that was 4 1s,
4 1s.
4 2s,
4
4
twos,
3s, 5
5
5s.
Yeah.
So 2 of those already rerolled. So here you go.
Yeah, it's very rare that it matters because realistically, the only times that it matters is when random damage goes into
5.
into multi-wound unit, right? Because then the sequence of damage characteristics matters, or when you're considering a reroll. If all the random damage is going into the same pool, so like it's a bunch of random damage attacks going into a 10 wound Demon Prince, for example, the order in which that damage is inflicted doesn't matter, but the rule that prevents you from fast dice rolling still applies. It also prevents you from I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's it's not a good rule. I'm not saying I necessarily think it's particularly good, but that is technically how it worked, and that's also how it worked in previous editions too. That's actually not a change. That's exactly the same as 9th edition.
Anti-vehicle?
No, it's just anti-vehicle.
Oh, just anti-vehicle. Never mind then.
So neither of those. No, one of those went in. Okay,
Yeah, so just 1 save then.
goes true.
2 damage.
1 damage. Is it 3?
1. Yep. Sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Hits. Not wound. Nope. Marshall going the other way. Hits. Sorry. 1 on your board.
Saved.
Cool. Alright, Dune Crawler here. Dune Crawler is going to put... Need 3 to get through. I'll put everything into the Lord.
Sure.
These guys are getting back into. Boom. Swim length. 7 AP1, ignore cover.
He's dead.
Dead.
Goodbye, Chaos Lord.
These 2 guys
Got absolutely
will,
rinsed.
shoot at your these guys.
Go ahead.
It is 2 shots each. 3 shots each. They're sustained. No, they don't. 1.
I wonder if. I guess it's a little scary. I'm kind of thinking about this interaction on this objective. It's a little sketch.
Jeez.
But I wonder if Ash was
Charge.
behooved to hold for the charge phase. She does have to eat the disintegrator shot into that noise marine unit, and she doesn't know how much damage it's going to do. But
Cool. 7.
if she had the Overwatch open off the noise marines, it would have prevented the Sicarian infiltrators from coming in. Although I guess they would have just come in behind the wall. Actually, the more I think about it, it doesn't matter. We rolled a 7 for this unit. That might pull the Marshal out of the ruin. We'll see. Oh, no, it doesn't look like he'll have to. Oh. Just kidding, chat.
Give 'em.
Well, Ash might be able to get her pledge anyway. She's down to 1 CP because she used the AOC on this guy. No, just kidding. All right. No, it looks like we're going to try to keep him safe.
How many attacks does he do?
14.
And does he bracket?
Nope.
Yeah, he's going to be -1 hit anyway. I don't think the bracketing doesn't really matter. Just going in? We're going in here? Imagine if these guys kill the Demon Prince and then he has to respawn out of combat, though. That'd be wild.
Use his bubble. Use everybody else's bubble. His bubble is not working. There you go. He was basing, so he can't move back.
We don't have sustains yet, unfortunately, chat.
He was one of the ones who was basing over here.
Yeah, if he kills the unit, he'd do a bunch. The downside is that he's hitting on 3s, and he's AP 0. So the chance that he actually sweeps the unit here is wild.
Yeah, I mean,
is pretty low. Although obviously, if he doesn't have to epic challenge, he can just do hit rerolls, so that's actually much better.
There's no issue here. This guy needs to scoot in like.
Yeah, coherency might be an issue, but K-Falls only needs 1 model to actually contest the objective. He needs 2 to hold it to get his storm, but as long as he's contesting, that's probably fine for him. Although he doesn't want to lose the Marshal, obviously, to coherency checks, so
This guy's dead, right?
he'd probably have to lose like 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
If he lost 5 guys, I think he'd maybe be okay.
So that would be...
I just did way too many. Nope, that was right. I did that right.
We'll see. It depends on what the Demon Prince rolls.
2.
It is a lot of it's a lot of rolls we got to deal. Ooh, almost pinged him.
He'll swing back.
Are we gonna do hit rerolls here? No, we're just rolling.
Nice
One
one.
ones. 1 2s. And 10.
10.
These rolled a less 10.
It's up to a save spike. What do we got?
I haven't rolled too hot, so.
Oh no! 5 go down. I think that she will retake the objective. She won't kill the unit though, so she doesn't get her pledge. So the pledge fails, and we're gonna start taking mortal wounds from that. That's unfortunate.
7 of them. Yeah.
I thought they had 4 up saves.
Oh, sorry.
It's AP 0.
Oh, never mind. You kill.
5.
5. Yeah.
I put 2 back.
Cool. All right. Should be 1 more back. Sorry. All right. That's it.
Okay.
I'll kick it over to you. We did assassinate and storm.
Alright. I failed my pledge. My Demon Prince takes 1 mortal wound. He does not particularly care. That's the one back here, not the one in your face.
Yep. Yep.
No one else needs to take a bet. No one needs to take a battle shock on my end. This will cleanse off. I'll draw my card. Behind enemy lines. Not too difficult, all things considered. Okay. Okay, cool.
So keeping the pledge at 3?
Um,
Actually, a 4 is probably a pretty reasonable pledge this turn. Because she has so many individual tiny units that she has available to kill.
how much CP do I have? I have 2 CP. Oh, is this a bubble?
Yeah,
6-inch or 3-inch?
6-inch.
That would be a way to sort of
Right.
climb back up the ranks, I think.
Alright, I'll just auto pass him.
No, she's on 3 primary, chat. This objective's contested. Demon Princes are only OC3, so this objective's contested. This one's lost. She doesn't even have this one. Is it an Overwatch?
Yeah.
An Overwatch would not be good here, actually, because it will just respawn him, potentially. And then he could regain wounds.
I have 2 CP. We will Overwatch him at the start.
Can't overwatch him at the start, he'll then combat.
At the end. So then
And we'll watch him at the end.
He gets right back up, right?
Yep.
So then no.
Okay. Is this demon? Oh, I need to make my pledge, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can Overwatch at the start because he's a monster, right?
Can you?
I don't know.
I'll pause real quick. I don't think that's ever been changed. But because the clause for big guns never tire that shoots into melee isn't restricted to shooting phase.
Yeah, oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
you're
then
eligible to shoot him.
you're still eligible.
I think I'm still gonna wait.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, if you're not doing it either way, then we'll just continue.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And you're on 3 primary, right, Ash?
Yeah.
For home?
It's 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, let's unpause that.
That's one that's Overwatch has been changed so many freaking times, chat.
What was I doing? Oh, yeah.
And there are, I know that there are like event specific rulings on whether or not you can shoot into melee with it. I believe that the current incarnation of the mechanic of the rules allow you to fire into melee with monsters' vehicles at the start of their movements.
2,
I don't think that's ever been changed.
12, 4, 4,
I imagine the pledge is the same. I think it's at 3.
4.
Because she didn't. Oh, it's at 5. Let's change it. Oh my god, chat.
Prince.
Hot diggity damn. We're gonna try to leap the entire pledge tracker in one turn. Can we do it? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. Don't fail any of these. And then just immediately unlock every ability. Could happen. Seems actually pretty reasonable.
Over this way. Molifene will move to hit.
Yeah, first sentence of the whole thing is
Guys will move over a little
in your shooting phase. But like that only affects 1/2 of it.
Okay, yes.
It says yeah. You're eligible to shoot in your shooting phase if you're in engagement range. Then period space new paragraph. You can select monsters or vehicles within engagement range as the target of your weapons. That section doesn't say in your shooting phase, which is almost certainly like not intended, but is the way that the rules have shook out. Revert the Overwatch changes to Titanic to use it.
Move up to here.
I don't know. Titanic is like so strong.
I know.
I am still like kind of glad it doesn't. It's so many attacks often. It's like just the easiest place to put it, and it restricts what they can do with like torrent weapons on Titans too, because they become like towering like huge like big flamers become like super disgusting.
Onto the objective. Can he go there? No, he can't. So he's just gonna stop here.
We saw that there's like Warhound lists at the start of the edition that would just pay 2 CP to Overwatch every single turn and cook a unit every time your opponent did anything. It was like, okay.
getting onto the point. Now the tormentors are gonna stay put because you've got sterilizers. The Steam Prince doesn't really need to go anywhere. It's gonna move up a tiny amount. So yeah.
Did bring Big Knights back to Chaos Knights? I'm not sure that that's the case. They would still be less efficient than Armigers or War Dogs.
So
Just a tough profile to balance is the issue.
That's basically everyone except
They'll get a Codex and it'll be fine.
these guys did not advance. He did not advance. Yeah, okay. So Molifine starts here. He's gonna shoot this one dude. Wait, I'm on your engagement range. I can't tell. Your scripting is broken. Yes, I am. So I'll move back and I'll adjust the noise marines accordingly. Because oh, I have a bit more room this way. No, there's no space. He's just gonna shoot him, 4 shots. We're rolling 1s, 2s, 4 inbounds. He is dead like 4 times over. These noise marines are going to shoot everything here. So the regular guns
Here?
Sorry?
These guys?
Yeah, these two. That is
Art of Wargame, they use the Grotmus attachment. Oh, Iconoclast Fife Tome? That's cool.
sustained, and this
Getting
is
some
from
play with that
character.
thing? Let's go.
Whoops, I did not mean to reroll those. Take these out and reroll those properly. Alright, so +5 sustained. And then 13 saves on them. Yeah, AP 1 ignore cover. Hit it. So that's 2 on the tally. This Molifine is going to shoot over into this one dude. Two saves. On your info. He's dead. It's a no. It's D6 plus 2. It's a melta.
Okay.
This Rhino is going to shoot everything at them. I think. Yeah, I got it back up. So, yep, shoot everything at them. That's killed 3. Havoc Launcher. Overcharging Plasma as well. 5 shots. Plus Blast on 4s, rolling 1s. 1 save. AP nothing, but you don't have cover except on your character. Yeah. The
Force?
oh, right, sorry. Let me just roll. Does 3 saves. Nothing. And then bolt pistol and plasma pistol. Bolt pistol hitting on 3s, and I can't see that. No, it's a character. Plasma is the one on 4s. That's a 1.
Is
Plasma
it-
hits on 4s.
What characters in there?
The Lord Exultant.
Okay.
He hits on 2s.
Alright.
So I don't use. It's a weapon based BS,
Good.
yeah. So 1 save, AP 0. There's a guy.
I thought this one was no.
No.
Alright.
The noise marines are in the middle. They were from this Rhino, the one that was here.
Okay.
That's how I shot them at this guy earlier. The squad earlier. Okay. This Demon Prince is going to shoot these guys.
Yeah, it was Tormentors in that top Rhino for a minute, but they jumped out to obsect the objective.
On the 3 guys in the middle. AP 1, so I should pop a guy. Alright. And then this Rhino is going to shoot everything at them. Using the Blast Masters. So that's 12 shots. Hitting on 4s, rolling 1s. Wounding on 2s. 4 saves at AP 2. Ignore cover. So that kills them, and the Marshal takes a wound. That's kill number 4.
How much damage is each?
1. And then I was out of range of the rapid fire, so blast is 3 shots. I'll just shoot this with the other gun because all the same profile functionally. Rolling 1s. Nothing. So Marshal gets to live. And then we go to charges. So we're going to start this guy here. 6 in charge. He makes it with a 10. I don't want to be on the building. Don't think I have to be. No, I don't. I don't want to be here. 10 dice. 6 mortal wounds.
Ouch. Ouchie. Half kills the Dune Rider. That means only 2 conversions from that guy kills it? Hot damn.
Is going to charge the... It's going to charge something. The Dune Crawler, I think. Just the Dune Crawler.
I will
So-
Overwatch here.
Current kills. Ash is at 4.
Disintegrator or Dune Crawler?
Disintegrator.
Okay.
First 3, the Thermite.
Mhm.
Come on. That's rough. The twin linked one, and then the 18 shots. Two.
Twin linked, right? Or is that on the other?
No,
Oh no, that's the other one.
the other one.
Saved. And then the charge is 2, which means it's a good thing I only charged the one guy. So that is 3 dice. 2 mortal wounds on the Dune Crawler. And then the smaller fiend is going to try and charge the Disintegrator. He fails, and then this Rhino is going to charge these guys through the wall. And makes it. Because that's unfailable. And I'm going to tank shock them. For 4 mortal wounds, so they did.
Oh, all right.
My tally up to 5.
That's the tally complete.
Okay, that's all my charges done.
Top 3, the coterie
yes.
mini game has been completed, even though Ash skipped round 2 and took
Interrupt on
damage.
anything. So Demon
Turns
Prince
out
to this guy.
we were able to get there. Leaving all those units on 1 just meant that we will get them the next turn.
Rolling 1. Oh, 3's rolling 1?
She does make this
Yeah, they're not -1, right?
this turn a little bit tougher.
This thing? No.
Yeah, okay. So 2's rolling 1s. And then on 5's. 3 saves at AP 2. On the
Okay.
Disintegrator.
All right, Disintegrator. Can you live? 3 4-ups. Yeah,
3
he's
damage.
okay. Almost died, but we lived.
Then the
We
Demon
didn't quite get there.
Prince, these guys have AP 0 on everything. He could not touch you because he was 2 inches. Yeah. He's gonna go and tag this thing.
He wasn't 2 inches from him.
He was 2.3. Yes, yeah. So 2 inches up. Alright.
Did he roll a 2?
And swing at the Demon Crawler.
Ash rolled 2 sets of 2-inch charges in a row.
6 attacks. 2 saves on the Demon Crawler. 3 damage. And then this Rhino is going to Palin, hit nothing, and then it's going to consolidate by spinning. moving closer to the objective. Okay, and then it's your fights.
Okay, we will do the Dune Crawler
Mm-hmm.
with 3 attacks. Hits on. Oh, okay. Nothing. The Scorpus Dune Rider.
She did roll 2 sets of 2-inch charges. That's wild.
Nothing.
Okay.
Down here, this guy. Cool. 1 to the Steam Prince.
He's fine.
Alright, that's it.
Okay.
Let me think here for a second.
I don't think I got assassination, but I did get small behind. I will just pitch. I'll pitch assassination this time. I should have 4 OC on the point.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you got to get 5 OC to take it. Because it's
Yep.
sticky, so you need to beat.
More. Yep.
These guys are not on the building. That was what I said, and I need to double check.
Yep.
So this guy would have had to have based, I think.
Oh,
He was like 1.8 away from that dude before you
Okay.
charged. Yeah, he was really
I
close.
thought it was 2.1. Alright, fine. You just base. You just base, yeah.
Yeah, he was certainly within 2.
Change this up a little bit.
Wasn't even particularly close, I think. Fortunately, we have a recording. We can just look where he stood.
I don't really need to pick these guys up. Get rid of these guys would be helpful. Do stuff in both rhinos.
She fail assassinate again? Yeah. In fairness, like, she didn't have a lot to go in on that guy. It would have meant that she would have not engaged the vehicles, which would have been awkward. Ash is certainly doing the job of killing everything. There is still a Taraxi Skystalker unit we can't forget about that we could see, I think, hop in on the corner over here and then steal this objective, probably.
To declare.
If there's a position where it can drop in with a shoot and scoot.
Ditch to assassinate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see 2 on here.
Area denial cleanse are the draws for K-Falier. Unfortunately,
Them on-
cleanse is going to be tough, I think, this turn.
Maybe 2 of
Area denial. Also tough is a rhino sitting in the middle that he'd have to kill. And even when the rhino's dead,
yeah,
I
he's on.
guess...
So there's 6 OC on the point.
Yeah, enemy battle shocked units still count, so you'd have to kill the unit of infractors inside the rhino in order to actually take that center point, so that's probably a dead draw. And I think we start to see this tip in the favor of Emperor's Children. This looks like it's going to be a really tough score this turn. When you mess with the turtle. The tortoise, you mean? I think you mean tortoise. Tortoise, as it were.
him. Does he have an impulse save on this guy?
5 up.
5 up.
So demon engine. They all got 5 ups.
Covey, is there any way you can like fix this one? Do you know? I can see the corner here. There we go. Thank you. That's doable.
So is there a route for Adeptus Mechanicus out of this game state? I think is the biggest question mark. The downside for them is, unfortunately, falling back out of combat's really awkward. We're going to try to shoot the Noise Marines, I suppose. I think there is a twin link set of stubbers, so that's probably pretty good. The scoring this turn is going to be super tough. Essentially, I think Adeptus Mechanicus needs to use the scoring sort of potential that they have to push the advantage into Emperor's Children. But obviously, the downside is that Emperor's Children are so efficient at killing them. Slightly not efficient enough to kill all their stuff, but they
Yeah, I can always see.
Good enough that it prevents them from really like sort of competing and then scoring for a really long time. So we could potentially keep Emperor's Children off at least 4 objectives. I think that
You know what? 8-10 range.
Ash could almost certainly hold down
Yeah, but I got some.
the home and top left, I think, unless something weird happens. I don't think that the Disintegrator can push up that direction far enough to
Here.
make a charge here. I think that the Mauler Fiend's going to block its movement, but I'm not 100% sure. If he could make a charge, there's still 2 Tormentors there, so it's a 6 OC on the objective. So I don't think he'd have to kill some stuff before he could take that away. I don't know what he's going to cleanse is the awkward part. I think that cleanse might just be a dead draw. And again, I think that Area Denial is going to be a dead draw too. So I think he's going to score a big zilch this turn. And then he has to fight 2 Demon Princes in his deployment zone. Yeah, fully armed and operational battle station. Yeah, now that... So the full Wombo combo chat is going to be unlocked next battle round. It doesn't carry over until the end of the battle rounds, but you're going to get reroll hits and wounds of 1 with every attack, not just melee attacks. Melee attacks are lethal sustained, and all your attacks critical on 5s. So all the Cacophony Noise Marine squads get 5 up critical hits, 5 up sustained hits, and everything lethal sustains on 5s in melee. And you have a 1 CP strat to reroll everything to fish for those. So the damage output of your army like doubles once you get the 7 points out.
One of them is not shooting.
It goes crazy. 5 up lethal sustain, yeah. Starting next turn in melee. Which is a lot. With baked in reroll 1s and
birds are
and a 1 CP reroll everything.
12.
Yeah, the thing to think about, it's like it sounds like a lot, but the thing to think about is that it's difficult to unlock that before like the 4th or 5th battle round.
Yeah, it doesn't do much. Help shoot at this Demon Prince.
If you play as aggressively as Ash has, then I think then you're in a pretty good spot to do so, but it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. And I do think that it's very matchup dependent, right? Like a Chaos Knights or an Imperial Knights is not necessarily going to give up that many pledge points. So it's much more difficult to unlock a hunter cohort like this that's playing really aggressively to keep you off of primary is probably the best case scenario.
Get there.
Yeah, it's like Kauyon Tao with extra steps for sure. Except it's big damage is melee, not range. But obviously it doesn't require like guiding and all that other stuff. So is there a universe where we can get... There's no battle line besides these guys.
Coming within 6 of the objective.
I know.
So the tough part's going to be dropping a unit and getting it to move onto this objective to take it. Hmm.
Let's see how much we can do there. So I think we just stay still, try and kill 1, 2, 3. Fine, which means these guys need to do something. We just stay here and shoot at the demon prince. Oh. Wasn't that 8 away? 12. He does a ton on the charge. This guy's gonna be so annoying to deal with. I'm not sure how to deal with him yet. We don't fall back. We're just gonna shoot into him, and he moves freely on his turn.
I'm not sure if the... Okay. Thanks, TTS. I'm not sure if the Disintegrator took Battle Shock.
Cleanse. Oh, we got cleanse. That's right. Shit.
What's interesting, too, is like... So currently, Adeptus Mechanicus is down on time, which is, I think, classic of Adeptus Mechanicus. Their attacks take a really long time to resolve, and they have a lot of models to do it with. What's interesting is that, like, Emperor's Children feels like the opposite. It feels like the games go very quickly.
Yeah, do that.
There are some, like, funny turns where you have to do weird combat maneuvers, but, like, for the most part, you're kind of just doing your thing.
We can all just sit here and see him too. I can all see the demon friends.
Yeah, they can all see him.
Yep. All right. Then these guys need to come down. There.
That's 7.
You have 4 OC on there.
Yep. 3 OC. Just kidding. I guess 2 OC, because he got pushed off when he had to adjust the Molothin, I guess.
Alright, so we'll shoot and scoot on. We'll flip that. Cool. Yep. Alright, should all be able to touch. Cool. Alright, Still getting Overwatch, that's fine. Let's start shooting. We are going to shoot this disintegrator into him.
Okay.
Do his big gun first. They all hit.
He is -2 to hit right now.
Why is
So
it
plus
-2?
-1. You're shooting into combat, so -1. So you should be hitting.
He's getting heavy +1 weapon skill and +1
okay,
to
sure.
hit. He's getting +3.
Okay.
He's still on 2s. Okay, of course. 1. Your invul.
Saved.
the twin link cannon.
Mhm.
Two.
Right.
Reasonable.
One goes through.
That's like the fourth one on the reroll.
Keep the damage.
Oh, fantastic. Then the 19 shots.
And that 4+ invuln save into -1 damage just makes these guys so annoying to kill. This model hasn't even respawned yet.
Two.
It's one. Down to one.
What a ludicrous profile.
Onager is going to shoot everything at him.
Okay. This is all EP1?
Yeah, it's ignore.
EP1 max, I'll AOC this.
It's ignore cover. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll AOC it.
Rolling is horrid. 3.
2 ups because of AOC.
Does that knock him?
So you spend one more thing on it.
How do you have 2 CP?
I discarded.
You just got, but you got +1 already.
Assassinate. I discarded assassination.
But you had +1 CP. You couldn't have had
From
another
what?
one. From your roll thing.
No, that was the previous turn. Nothing.
sure.
Nothing that had.
There were no icons engaged.
I feel
Yeah,
that
this turn.
Nothing that had an icon even shot or fought. So
Okay.
there's no way I could have gotten it.
6 shots. Next one.
Right.
This one's sustained. Sustained
Mhm.
is 1. This one is not 20 length, so nothing.
Mhm.
We're gonna go over to. Oh man. Dune Crawler will shoot these guys.
Mhm.
You can see.
Yeah, it's in.
Okay.
But you're
What
out
do I
of.
want to do?
You're out of rapid fire.
I don't want to shoot him. Get rid of him. Touching the terrain's a lot of them. No. Do need to get rid of this guy. It's so annoying that he's alive. We'll do this guy. We'll fire the Firmite into him, everything else into the Mauler Fiend.
Okay.
I think that's what I want to do. I want to fire everything in the Mauler Fiend.
Damaging the Mauler Fiend is crazy.
Uh,
Winged Demon Prince going down 15 was the equivalent of them nerfing Ogryns and Bulgrims were insane. Yeah, for sure. Do you think that was a mistake? You think they mistranslated it? It does feel like 180 is a little too cheap for them, for sure. I don't know if they need to go like 200 plus, but it like 180 feels like a little too inexpensive.
That's true.
Let's see, we got another one.
I do worry that like if they over nerf the strong data sheets in the codex doesn't really have anything to fall back on. So I think there's a universe where if Emperor's Children come out of the gate too good, then things could get really weird.
Nothing.
Swap that change with the Foot Demon Prince, yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, put the Winged Demon Prince to, like, 190, 195 for sure, and then get the fucking Foot guy down to, like, 200 or something. He's crazy overcosted. It's wild.
I forgot. Mind if
The comparison is so damning.
I pushed them the wrong way?
Sure. I need one more. He needs 2 friends.
We'll start with these guys into him. Everything.
Mhm.
31.
Let's roll some 6s.
Rerolling 1s only, right?
Oh, you're not on the point, yeah.
Yes.
Shit. Just do it again. Actually, these.
That was, you get 7 reroll. You have 3 6s and you have 7 rerolls.
Reddit community still thinks Fulgrim and Flawless Blades are busted. Yeah, I know. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe they know something I don't. Fulgrim seems just like trash. It like super unplayable. I don't really understand. Flawless Blades, like, I mean, they hit good, but I don't know if this is a faction that needs things that hit super hard.
Big gun first.
I think they could make the Death Guard Demon Princes better.
I mean, the Twin Linked one.
I mean, honestly, I think all the Demon Prince profiles could just be cheaper.
Actually, sorry.
I kind of wish, hopefully the new missions help the monster character or like vehicle character profiles, because one weird thing that occurs is like you start to give up lots of secondaries. And especially I think for things like Death Guard that tend to take a lot of like characters and vehicles that could be problematic.
-1 net, so hitting on
he's getting plus
+1. No, so you're +1 net.
Yeah, why is Fulgrim on the big base for sure? It's like so stupid.
Yeah, so you're -2 +2. Yeah, so you're +0. So it's
maybe make Fulgrim go over walls. That would be good. It's like weird he doesn't like cross walls.
A 4.
The number of times Great Unclean Ones, their only utility in a game is holding an objective, which is like fine, but that's because it's a 250 point like non-epic hero versus a big guy. Disintegrator knocks the Demon Prince. That's big.
Let's go. With this guy failing everything.
Yeah. We'll shoot the
3 KLOS.
Everything.
Do they go over walls? Do they have the adjusted super heavy walker?
I don't know how many of these guys can see him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No.
And Russ will have to shoot that way.
Get wrecked, I guess.
Dune Rider.
Dune Rider.
Shooting into combat.
Yeah, +1, -1. 1.
Small monsters, large base size infantry needed to rebalance next edition. Yeah, I agree with that. Games Workshop, I think, is pushing the scale of the game faster than the mechanics can keep up.
3 big guns will shoot.
Because we've basically pushed from like a 30 millimeter heroic to like almost 35. Like it's like the average size of miniatures is like wildly increasing. And everyone's base size is increasing, but none of the mechanics have been adjusted to represent that. And we get like weird situations where like large bases become like super unplayable essentially.
I was trying to find him and just like.
Yeah, Noise Marines and Rhinos is hilarious for sure.
Plasma.
Also, like flash gates in a truck. Like, what is that?
1.
Do you overcharge?
Yes, he's good. Overcharge.
Okay,
Arc rifle. Hits. Wounds. Over here. AP2. Ignore cover.
Saved.
AP1, sorry, ignore cover. And then the sniper rifle. There's 1 misses. Hits. 1.
Saves.
And then the marshal going this way.
Mm-hmm.
Reroll. Hits. Does not wound. We can please just give us a 6. Change everything. Nope. He's strength 6. Yeah, 1. AP 1. Ignore cover. Cool.
Yes.
Nothing. These guys, after they move, can move 6. Or we can just charge. I think we're just gonna charge here.
Charging with the Skitarii.
Oh, these guys need to shoot.
K-Fall's got to worry about clock here. He's 7 minutes left and 2 battle rounds to go. Don't know if he's going to be able to make it.
Alright, 3 shots.
Oh, yeah, they might not be able to charge, chat.
Move their 6. You have how much OC on there? 4, 3, 2,
2.
1.
2.
away.
Because they disembarked after moving. Yeah.
Wait, can you charge? You moved and then disembarked.
Oh no. They shoot moves. They just gonna do that then.
Yeah, that's fine, but I meant you can't charge.
Yeah, no. How much roast do you
it-
have on here?
It's a
Two.
bit bigger. It's like what? Just do 1 point. Just do 0.1 off of it because the treads are not part of the aura. But yeah, it just goes on the box, not the.
Cool. Dune Rider.
We fixed it, chat.
Charge here.
Let's go.
Fingerprints? Alright.
Sick.
Makes it.
Trying as hard as we can to kill this guy.
You
Awkwardly, if the
Yeah.
Demon Prince dies, it just pops out of combat now.
There.
Yeah.
I guess this guy will show.
Yeah, he still hasn't respawned. It's like getting
Okay.
it's getting sort of silly, I think, at this point.
Once.
How much damage that dude's
Birds
absorbed.
really need-
Because he's eaten like so many Pheromite cannon shots and so many stubber hits, like he probably should have gone down for sure.
10.
He's pledged to eternal servitude. Of course he won't go down. Just watch the clock, Kyle, because you're on 5 minutes.
Yep.
Classic admix shooting, indeed. Facts. Truer facts have never been spoken. It is emblematic of an admix game.
1, 2, 3.
We are it takes a long time to activate all these individual models, most of which don't do anything.
Attacks each. So
Kind of unfortunately, but yeah.
Nothing. Do the Dune Rider. We'll pile in.
Like, please, just do 1 wound. Just do 1 wound, and then fail the leadership check. Can we knock at least 2 of the demon princes?
Nothing.
Alright.
Over to you.
Demon Prince swings at the Dune Rider, I guess.
Yep.
One save. I do crawler, not Dune Rider. The crab.
The grab.
But whatever it's called.
Oh, he punches back. 3 attacks.
Mhm.
Hey. Not one hit on any wounds. Okay.
Oh man,
Okay.
We'll
this demon prince though.
both of these.
Alright.
That's a 10th edition moment right there.
Well,
That's
seventh
what that
pledge.
is.
I'm not pledging anymore. Got them maxed out. Draw my cards. Secure no man's and mark for death. What's your mark for death?
We will do this disintegrator back here.
Mhm.
This Techno Priest back here. And already at 3. We'll do the these guys right here. This thing. 1, 2. Might as well do this one. 3.
Okay. Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Accept the turn, please. Hit the button. Thank you. Alright. Things. Things that are always happening.
I've
this
put
one-
2 Dune Crawlers. Sorry, 2 Disintegrators and a Dune Crawler into this guy 2 turns in a
And
row.
he didn't fall down, and then this guy died to basically 1 Dune Disintegrator.
know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mother
I also
Phoenix
put these three
advances.
symbols.
The Mother Phoenix to the Noise Marines advances. He's going 11. That's 10. Yep, 2 1. He goes there. These guys are going to move around to here. We don't want to touch the building. We just want to shoot things. Let's try out. We get 8 for primary. Oh man, this one. Let's get up. Oh yeah, take battle shock on that demon prince. Beat passes. Unless you have a minus somewhere. I think I killed your minus. Wait, these guys go 7. This functionally unfavorable. Can I fit the guy between there? I can, so I need to make sure that this guy is here and this guy is on the side. On that side.
Mere killing should never be enough. How much more intense is the feeling of inhaling the mist created when you vibrate a foe's body until he vaporizes? How much more completely have you explored all a person can offer you than when you breathe them into yourself, leaving only the memory of them still a part of this world?
This demon prince would like to fall back. Would you like to overwatch him?
Thanks, Goofy. Oh my god.
Would you like to overwatch him now?
No.
Okay. Nice variants. If we can fit there. Sure.
Noisy AF. Indeed. These noisy boys are about to make it noisy up in here for sure.
Fit a dude here? No. Sorry about that. Oh, I don't care, you can overwatch them, I'm not fussed. Your stuffers surrounding me on 5s. It's a big source of damage to always. Okay, noise range will advance. 7. At no point will I be on an objective, so these guys can overwatch if they like, but they're not going to accomplish much. I'm T5. So. And then this demon prince is going to advance.
Is there about to be a concert on Mars? I don't know. It is about to get swifty though.
7.
These noise marines are about to show these Adeptus Mechanicus what you got.
Let's see all. To dodge your engagement range. Okay. I'm done, I think. Oh no, these guys are gonna jump into right.
Here's a question, chat.
This is sticky. I can't change it, but it's sticky.
It feels like the Emperor's Children would have a tough time fighting in a wide variety of environments because, like, their most effective weapon system doesn't work when there's in a limited atmosphere.
The smaller thing did not advance.
Right?
Advanced. He felt.
Like, let's say
he advanced.
you know you're in vacuum or it's a thin atmosphere.
All right.
And you shoot a sonic weapon, and it's gonna do like,
Shooting.
damage like commensurate
Your
with the
whimpering pleas are
Demon
pathetic.
Prince is going to shoot the
My
technologist.
ears have known songs that have made the air weep. Sweet blood, such
hits.
was the bliss.
3 wounds.
Clearly, you need greater encouragement to improve
Dead.
your voice.
This is Wilford Brimley. Oh my god. Thanks, Wilford.
Is going to shoot the Onager. Doomcrawler. On 3s. No, on 2s because I'm injured. So I get +1 to hit.
Front row
And
tickets
one
at
thing
the
on
noise
five, rolling
concert.
Nothing.
Effects.
These guys in here are going to shoot the Doomcrawler, Overcharge Plasma, and Melta. The Overcharge Plasma. 2 hits, and on 5s, on 1s. 1 save on the Doomcrawler, AP3. I don't think you have cover.
That's good.
Alright, Melta. Hits. Melta is on a 5. No. The Bolters. 3 saves at AP0. And then the Havoc is
How much
5
damage?
shots. It's AP0.
How much damage?
Oh, 1 each.
Oh, AP0. No, man, he's on 2s.
Yeah, that's always. Nothing. That's that done. These guys not do. These. Right. The smaller fiend is going to shoot 1. No, I don't even need to do that. These Noise Marines are going to shoot everything at the Taraxi. So 12 shots with the regular guns. Rerolling 1s. And then winning on 3s. 5 saves on the Taraxi. 3 damage
AP?
each. AP1.
Yeah, that is true,
1
chat.
damage each.
If it's dense atmosphere, then they would be
And the
extra.
big gun.
You're not wrong.
5 saves at AP2 ignore cover. 3 damage each.
5 saves, you said?
Yep. So 3. Right. That's a nice Marine squad.
I want
for
to maybe. I doubt we'll get
Yeah, the
it,
two-
but who knows with
two
all the stuff they've been
regular guys
making
that-
recently.
yeah.
I think it'd be cool to get like a
These guys are
Warhammer TV animation of like noise marines shooting, because I bet like an in-universe depiction of their guns firing would be wild.
so,
Just vibrating people into
these guys
nothing.
shooting here.
It's just a vibe, you know.
The regular dudes, yeah. On 4s, rolling 1s. Sustained on 5s.
Soggy marines.
And
Yeah, do you think they have
the
extra range
character.
if they're underwater too?
Rolling 1s.
you shoot them for like a mile.
Sustained on 5s. And wounding on 3s. Rolling 1s. 10 saves on the Skystalkers, AP1, ignore cover. That should be
How much
them.
damage?
2 each. And 12 shots into the Skitari. Rolling 1s. And then crit 5s with sustained, and wounding on 2s, rolling 1s. 13 saves on the Skitari at AP1, ignore, AP2 ignore cover.
Who's this from?
Them, the other 2.
Jesus. 13.
Mm-hmm. Just 1 damage each, AP2 ignore cover, so it should just be on your 5, whatever intel you have, 6 up, I guess.
Good.
Yeah, AP2. So, but do they have 5 up involves?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The whole army does. It's like their whole thing.
This Rhino, I guess, shoots here. I've got nothing else to shoot to that. Havoc. 2 shots, and then the Bolters. It's another 4 shots. Another ones. Nothing. And I think that's everything shot. So we'll go to charges. Demon Prince tries to charge here. He makes it with an 11. I don't think I can base you anywhere, so he's just gonna hit you here. Maybe Move back to the objective. Yep. Okay, and that's 10 dice.
Don't worry, Skitari Marshall. You'll be fine.
That should be
I believe in you, buddy.
here. Can I file in this way? No, I can't. Right, so I want to go back. 10 dice. He's dead. 4 mortal wounds. I'm just gonna move him back before I forget. That's just gonna be his. No one else charging in this zone. Noise Marines are gonna charge here. Yep. 6. Just wrap you. Mauler Fiend is not yet, but Smaller Fiend is going to charge. Is going to double charge. Mix it in with the 2. Over here. And then these guys are going to double charge. Making it with an 11. He'll just swing around the long way, that's like 4 and 4. It's not an issue. Gotta squeeze in there. Go here. This guy goes there. He goes here, and I think this guy can fling himself all the way around there. And I think that's. He is not going to charge. But I don't want to give you an Overwatch. Okay. So, fights. He's gonna do his once per game. These 3 models are gonna swing at the Skitari Marshal. These guys are gonna swing at the Scorpius. Lower it +2 into the Scorpius, 3 guys into the Marshal. So into the Marshal, on 3s, on 4s, rolling 1s.
Mantis shrimp or noise marines underwater?
Sustained.
Facts, though?
Rolling 1s. He has 13 saves to make it AP1. He's very dead. 8 swings into the Scorpius. Lethal sustained, and on 4s rolling 1s. 7 saves, 10 saves at AP3 on the Scorpius. 2 damage each. Was there a 5-up info? Oh no, it's got 2-up save. Got 2-up saves, right. So, no. Don't die. No. Balance roll, I mean, so stuck there. Molopian swings at the Dune Crawler. 6 attacks. 2s, rolling 1s, crit 5, sustain lethal. 3
Oof.
1s.
That full power chance.
That's dead.
Crit 5, sustain
2
lethal.
damage each minimum.
Even the noise marines start punching good when you're crit 5, sustain lethal.
Tag the
Goodbye, Onager. Yeah, this is a roll here, I think, folks.
Noise Marines have 15
Going around 5, Ash is probably going to score
attacks.
baseline max points, and
Rolling 1.
maybe K Falls gets 1 objective,
And 1.
but it doesn't look good.
Ones.
I guess he's obsec this objective with
It's
Rangers
on
already,
the
so that one
Scorpius.
that one will lock in. But I don't know where he's getting any more points this round.
So that's Mark for this, and Secure No Man's Land. And over to, and then you can swing back, but over to you.
Yeah, we're just gonna skip it. These guys will get picked up for CP. We'll just do this turn and then call it.
Yeah, might get a talk out here, chat.
Not happening. Bring it down.
Mm-hmm.
Happen.
The Wu-Tang style, for sure.
Defend or sabotage.
Almost invincible. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned, I think Ash is particularly
I
well
kill this.
suited for this
I
style.
put 12 blast cannons, 12.
Bring it
melt
down,
weapons,
sabotage is the
spattering,
draw.
Plasma, and everything, and still haven't killed
Well,
it.
you can move him, and then if you do fail to kill him, you just tank shock.
Yeah, that's right. We might kill this guy too. These guys come down. They'll try sabotage, but they're not gonna be able to do it. We'll just leave them up in the air. See if we pull something else. He shoots there. Let's see if we can finally kill him. Although we do want to be closer for the tank shocks. We're giving up our stuff.
It's vengeance at this point. Let's go.
I can overwatch them.
Plus 2 to hit, -1, so he's still on 3s.
+2. I don't think we have a battle line.
The one
Oh no, we just get +1. Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Does he blow up? He does not.
Could you imagine just like the ultimate,
His res.
This guy shoots there.
the ultimate BM? He just explodes.
2 on him.
Oh, go through.
AP3. For 6, 7 damage.
He's dead.
All right, let's go. That was what I think K Falls was expecting out of that shooting earlier. I shot my entire army for 2 turns. That's what I was trying to accomplish. Why did it take me so long?
No.
Okay.
3s. 2. Unlinked.
T5, so falls don't win.
Yeah, it was a real. It's fine. It doesn't really matter.
One dice.
And that be it. Does he get up?
I'll check. He failed his leadership check.
He dies in real life. You're actually kind of hoping for that respawn because that would have scored an additional bring it down.
Yeah, 4.
4. I'll kick it over to you.
Mm-hmm. You got 15. No battle shocks to take.
This guy dies.
No, well, the Demon Prince is going into him.
Yeah.
These guys are going to go here and go here.
Those are the secondaries last turn.
Because in range.
Yeah, I think it's basically
He just ran.
moot at this point.
I guess these noise range would advance and try it. I don't know if I can even make it. 11. Do I make it? Yes. Yeah. 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 Malathina is just going to move back here. These guys go after that thing and kill it. Or functionally kill it, whatever.
I might overwatch. How much CP do I have? 3. I'd overwatch these guys when they come in. If you want to just stay on that side of the wall.
No, I'm not letting you overwatch them. They couldn't see you anyway. It's just these guys.
This guy could do it too, though.
Oh yeah.
I'll try. Boom. 1 AP3.
Okay, dead.
That's linked. Just up as 5.
T5.
And then. Two, no repeat. Yeah, this Demon Prince living here for so long, like, screwed everything up. Because then I wasn't able to shoot this way. These guys weren't able to pick up the Mauler Fiend or the
This
Rhino.
guy moved too far. He's going to see that guy back there.
Very fine.
Basically, these guys shoot here. These guys shoot here, kill this. These guys shoot here. Whether or not they kill this doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
I should out OC you on this point. Yep. And then these guys shoot between this and this. They should kill it. These guys shoot here. They should kill it. So then he should kill this.
Yep. So my turn. Score 0.
What did I draw? Oh, that was last turn. Sorry, I need to check my secondaries. Defense, Stronghold, and Cleanse. So my Rhino also do Cleanse. These guys will just move here. And do you still have the Scooty guys?
Yeah, they're up in the air. No, they're not. The
Yeah, those are sterilizers that are in the air right now.
Gonna move here.
Not the Sky Stalkers.
I just get 6. I don't even know if I can.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
I get 6. That'd be it.
I couldn't screen it while scoring fence, basically.
Yeah. That one guy screwed up so much. Like, because then none of the stuff could shoot at anything else, because I had to keep shooting him. And then,
Mhm.
and I just needed, oh, because then these guys come and flip it, which means he's kind of there for a turn. And then on his next, when he gets back up, his charge, I can then Overwatch maybe. But then I can get more shots into this thing. And then here, this guy surviving again means I couldn't get rid of the Noise Marines or the Rhino. Because this thing could have, if this thing died, this guy shoots the Rhino, then these guys shoot the guys inside. Or this vice versa. It was just like
Mhm.
catastrophe. I think it was 6. It was 2 disintegrators shot twice each. So that's basically 6 las cannons, and they were hitting on 2s because they didn't move. So 6 las cannons on 2s, and then it was 6 meltas on 2s, then on 4s with rerolls. Then it was 36 little shots, and then I put the Dune Rider, the Dune Crawler into it twice. I put this squad into it once, and then I put the Dune Rider and a full squad into it with full rerolls, and then I put it into it again. It was wild that this thing like never went below 1, and then this one just dies to 1.
Yep.
But like
He
that,
donated all of his luck to this guy.
yeah. Well, that doesn't help. Like the 2 shots that do go through, I rolled 1s on the damage, which is brutal.
You rolled a 2 and a 3, but yeah. That's a 1 and
No,
functionally
there was
1 and a 2.
there. Yeah. But good game. Yeah, these guys are tough.
Well, that's Ash taking down the Black
Thank you.
Crusade
Good game.
Open
This is tough.
once
I
again.
don't know how I approach it.
Black Crusade
I
Open
do
8.
different here, I guess.
Oh.
Going first would help.
Ash is,
a lot, but
continues to be our champion.
that's not a game plan. I think I could have screened this turn. Maybe these guys stay here for the screen. That helps.
I guess it's an interesting question,
Ability to get-
like whether the movement, like the aggressive movement blocking is even
Yeah.
quite worth it, because you give up so
Reason
much,
why
so many
it's
pledge
right.
points, which is like such
Number
a
one,
big
because
deal.
I could
Yeah.
go
Although
against
Emperor's
the
Children are
two
going to be able to
against,
find a
like,
way to
half
get
an
them
inch.
anyway.
Yeah.
And also, if these guys flop their advance, they just move 8 inches straight back over the wall to here.
Yeah.
In height in this zone, and then the next squad gets out and tries the same thing.
Yeah. See, I was looking at this as like a 24, so they're safe. I forgot that you can scout in and then get out on this side. And now like
Ash's
also
first
20
BCO win.
here because they were
Hot
on the
damn!
wall.
She joins the illustrious ranks of
And charge and then pump.
Chaos
The
Lords.
squad turn 1 was rough. I could have just screened it with a squad here. That's not doing anything. Because I kept you on primary until the end. And I think if this thing dies earlier, then I have more shooting here and things that can move up this way. Birds don't have to come down.
Yeah, I think
Birds with full rerolls.
it is unfortunate Kefalier had to
Basic
sort of
shits.
commit the battle line early. If he had the battle sphere uplink in it later, then it would look good for
Average.
bottom 5 scoring because he can hold 2 objectives with that really easily. But the his capacity to score is
Rerolls.
very limited early.
And then another half is on 3s. Yeah, should have killed. And then you had a 4 on field, no pain, right? Yeah, should have
6 up.
killed. 6 up, feel no pain, so it should have killed 1, 2, 3.5.
I mean,
Feel no pain's rough. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have rapid them, just eaten it. And then they come down back here and help clean this side up, or this side. Well, good game. Thanks, Trevi.
Yeah, thanks for the game, you two. Ash, congratulations on taking it down and being crowned a Chaos Lord of the Black
Okay.
Crusade.
Win, Ron.
All right.
Um,
Well, I gotta hop up. My kids are out there. Wait for me.
Well, enjoy it. You've had so much experience with children in this game that
Yeah.
now you get to do it in real life. Now you're prepared for the next challenge.
Well, have a good holiday if you guys celebrate it this weekend, or good vacation if you guys have vacation break.
Yeah, cheers.
Yep. Adios.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Like,
Thanks. Congrats on the win, man.
yes, thank you.
Thanks, you two. Ash, congratulations again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
All right, chat.